talkSPORT Sports Update, powered by the Nissan Van Range, helping business owners to work better and live better. Search Nissan Vans or head to your local Nissan Van Centre.
Good afternoon, I'm Max Scott here with your sports headlines. Another day in the life of Nottingham Forest.
The West Ham route of our hierarchy saying that we want to play this free-flow and attacking football, when it's quite clear our team is set up for counter-attacking kind of play.
I don't want Ange. I think it's a big mistake, if I'm being honest.
talkSPORT understands Postecoglou will sign a 2-year deal at the City ground, and after Nuno's public criticism of Evangelos Marinakis, Simon Jordan says Nuno got what was coming to him.
It's common sense. You don't walk around in your job being able to say what you want about your bosses. So why do you think a football manager is anything different just because he's the face talking to the media about the football team that he produces with other people's money?
But why the dramatic shift to the former Spurs boss? Alex Crook was first to break the story and told us Forest's thinking behind the appointment.
I think the playing style is a big part of it. As I say, I think they want to dominate games more. They want to be more entertained.
Postecoglou will take charge of Forest's trip to Arsenal live on talkSPORT Saturday lunchtime. And Harry Kane says the referee has a big part to play tonight and that he's ready to lead England off the pitch if they encounter racist abuse in Serbia. Serbian fans have been warned by their own FA. The game, of course, is live on talkSPORT from 7 p.m.
talkSPORT News.
The race is underway to replace Angela Rayner as Labour's deputy leader, with 4 names now on the shortlist. And BBC boss Tim Davie has told the Commons Committee that we may see more things coming out when asked about the corporation's talent abusing their positions. More from the news team at 5:30.
talkSPORT weather with QuickFit. Proudly supporting air ambulance charities this Air Ambulance Week. Every mission starts with you. Visit Air Ambulances UK to learn more.
Outbreaks of rain in the west and southwest, mostly dry elsewhere with some sunshine.
Apparently we're salty shaky and you have to endure us. I might have a word with the Trows department. It is Paul Hawksbee and Charlie Baker with you through until 4 here on talkSPORT. Where this afternoon, Charlie? Please tell us. Well, we know what's coming up, and it's all Nuno related and Ange related. But what is coming up, Charlie?
I'll tell you what's coming up over the next 3 hours. Reaction to Nuno's departure from Forest and Big Ange's imminent arrival. He's not actually that big, is he?
He's not.
Ange's imminent arrival.
Big man at all.
Our commentator, Jim Talk United Proudfoot, joins us from Belgrade to tell us what to expect from Serbia tonight.
Yeah.
And horse racing trainer Rafe Beckett explains why the sport is going on strike tomorrow.
Pretty seismic day for the world of horse racing in this country. We're also after the inanimate objects that injured you. And comedians Sam Avery and Matt Richardson both join us for a chat.
Yes, all this plus we're joined by the author of a new book on tennis sensation.
Yeah.
Carlos Alcaraz, Carlitos Vamos. And we go head to head once again with Chat GPT.
We sure do. 5 minutes past 1. Good afternoon, Charlie. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Charlie, I should say. And, football. Bloody hell, as Alex Ferguson once said.
Moves on, Paul.
I went to bed last night and I had no idea. There was a message this morning saying, we're talking Forest today. And I thought, why is he so desperate to talk Forest? And then, of course, I looked at the news, Charlie. You stayed up late and you got late, on the sports bar, didn't you?
Well, I was on the sports bar and I watched a film till late, Paul, last night.
Okay.
If I'm honest, I wasn't
tell us what it was?
I was watching The Ballad of Wallace Island. With
Great
Tim
film.
Key.
I watched it at the weekend.
I can only recommend everybody watches that film.
Yeah.
Absolutely brilliant. Tim Key's amazing in it, our friend of the show, obviously.
Yeah.
But then before bed, I'll often stick Sky Sports News on, Paul, or
see what the agenda is.
Listen to the sports bar to see what we're going to be talking about today. he'd gone.
Yeah.
And he's gone. I mean,
it's not.
To be honest, if you have a go at that manager in public,
the owner
in public, I don't think you're going to last very long in your job.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was everything that's gone on. Edu coming in, maybe him feeling that the structure didn't really need changing after last year, but the owner had other ideas, and he's always going to win out, isn't he? It's pretty obvious. The appointment
he led them to great success.
Yeah.
So he'll walk into another job.
Max Scott, who managed to go through that whole piece in his bulletin and not editorialise, because he is a massive Nottingham Forest fan. So we are going to get him in for a bit of a chat later. Tony Woodcock's going to join us for Forest legend. Let's be honest. Tony will join us for a chat. And on the Ange front, Tom Barkley, Sun football writer who covers Spurs, has also written a new book, Miracle in Bilbao. So he has done a deep dive on the Ange era, especially last season. And we'll look at the fit. I mean,
How do you feel? Because you watched a couple of seasons of him and you weren't. By the end, you weren't having it, were you, Paul?
No, I felt it was the right decision to make. I mean, look, the guy, he's a bright guy, and I think if he's learnt from his experience, Forest could get a much better manager than maybe we saw at Spurs, because he would have learnt by some of the things that didn't work out.
Yeah.
Because all we had the two versions of Ange. We had Kamikaze Ange, first 10 games, it's who we are, mate.
Yeah.
Then to the kind of attritional Rorke's Drift Ange that ultimately won Europa League.
Yeah.
But we didn't really have a kind of blend of the two, which is...
Did he have the players to create a blend of the two, which he might have?
No, look, he had injury after injury, and we won't know whether that was an outlier and just bad luck. I mean, I felt at the time, no manager can be that unlucky.
Yeah.
There must be a bit more to it than that. But we'll find out if the Forest players all stay completely fit and on top of it and are playing this...
Yeah, how's Morgan Gibbs-White feeling after staying at the club, when he said he wanted to leave and come to Spurs?
I think he got a massive pay rise, so I don't think he's that upset. They've bought well in the
they're a good side.
They've got some. He's got some very good players to work with, and I'm sure when he comes back to Spurs, they don't play at Spurs till next Feb or March. But he'll get a great reception. He'll definitely get a great reception.
Well, he's got Arsenal on Saturday.
Yeah,
so
I mean, I think he should get used to the phrase Tottenham reject before he goes to Arsenal. But he may have the last laugh. Forest have got the players.
Yeah, and also we know he'll get 2 years out of his 2 years deal because he always wins something in the second season. Paul,
and you would never dare say he's unsackable after 1 year.
It's the best thing to say when you go into. Well, I'll be rubbish for a year, of course.
Yeah, and he can have it out with the owner in Greek. Can't he?
Exactly,
of course, that helps. They can converse.
That's the thing, isn't it? Yeah.
So anyway, we'll be chatting to Tony Woodcock about that very shortly. More news has emerged. You may have seen pictures yesterday, and we did mention it. Erling Haaland was attacked by the team coach. The Norway. No, I don't mean the coach of Norway. I mean actually the team coach.
Yeah.
I don't know what it was. He was just trying to get a bag out the coach, and one of the doors of the coach smacked him in the mouth. A freak bus door injury, they've said. All the players have been talking about. 3 stitches after being smashed in the face by the door of Norway's team coach. He's posed for a selfie. He's having a bit of a laugh about it. Martin Odegaard said, I didn't see it, but I heard he had a door in his face.
I wonder if he's one of those players who's like all grace and style on the pitch.
Like big clumsy oaf.
Big clumsy off it. Oh no, here we are.
The sort of bloke that walks into a plate glass door not realising the glass is there.
Exactly. Yeah. I've done that. So you won't be surprised to know, Paul, that I've walked into a plate glass window.
Have you really?
Yeah.
You didn't go through it, did you?
No, I smashed it.
Oh wow!
It's very early days in the relationship with my wife.
Okay.
Stayed at her dad's house. Walked through one of his. Walked through a plate glass door,
thinking it was
just an idiot, Paul. Just an idiot. It was bonfire night, and we ended up having to go and have stitches. And so I mean, a casualty on bonfire night, which you do not want, because there's people coming in with a rocket in their eye, like a Catherine Wheel injury.
Yeah,
you don't want those. You do not want that.
And there was you just walking through a plate glass.
Through a plate glass window.
Did it affect the relationship with the in-laws a bit?
Still married, Paul.
Yeah.
Still married. He did say, my father-in-law did say at our wedding, I've lost a daughter and gained an idiot.
Yeah.
So nice line.
That's pretty much
true. Exactly.
So yes, they've all been saying it. So I was in the dining room. I didn't see. Nobody seems to have. We're taking Erling's word.
All right. Okay.
It was the coach door. Yeah, but anyway, he's going to be fine. But the reason we bring it up is inanimate objects that attacked you.
Yeah, nice.
A plate glass window for Charlie.
Glass window, and I was tackled yesterday by a concrete bollard.
Okay, how did...
I was walking my daughter finishes school.
No, wait, talk about Dan Bird.
She finishes at 3:15.
Yeah.
I'd get to the dentist for 3:30, Paul. I was in a rush. She was not.
Yeah.
I was not.
You're trying
attention.
to harry her along.
Tackled by a bollard.
Yeah.
Dan Bollard does sound like a good non-league midfielder.
He does, yeah. Dan Bollard.
Do
Yeah.
your job.
Number 5 this afternoon. Dan Bollard. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
So there we are. That was yesterday.
Brilliant. The inanimate object that attacked you. talksport.com/H&J. Text to 81089. Tweet to TSH&J 03717 223344. That will kick us
Yeah,
off.
Mick in Hounslow's been in touch. Good afternoon. I think the Forest chairman must listen to this show and he heard Chat GPT say he missed Ange.
Yeah.
And decided to bring him back.
Maybe he did.
Does love Ange. We'll hear from Chat later on.
We will. Chat's going to be back later on. We're going to be joined by Matt Richardson, comedian, in the first hour. He's back out on tour. We'll have a chat with him. His dad played football at a decent level. Jim Proudfoot joins us, your match commentator tonight over in Belgrade for Serbia v England. And Jim's been doing his research. And it'll be interesting. We'll talk about, we all know Serbia is going to be a step up on what we've come across, barring Senegal so far under Tuchel. But what sort of stars should we expect? We'll get Jim's take on that. Tony Woodcock's going to join us, though, to talk Forest. We'll get a Spurs Ange angle a little bit later on. Interested to hear from Forest fans. 03717 223344. Talksport.com. Text 81089. Tweet TSH&J. And indeed, Tottenham fans. How do they see the all-new Ange, who's maybe soaked up all this info from his 2 years at Tottenham, and maybe Forest get a better manager because of it? We shall see. We're here with Tool Station. Next stop, Tool Station. Hawksbee and Charlie Baker here on talkSPORT. We cross to our chief football correspondent, Alex Crook, for some not altogether unexpected breaking football news. Crookie, tell us what's happened.
Yeah, good afternoon, boys. It shows how fast-moving this story is. I thought I had half an hour of free time to pop and do a little 5K on the treadmill, 2.5K in. Here I am in the car park, speaking to you guys. As you say, the worst-kept secret in football, really. Ange Postecoglou has just been confirmed by Nottingham Forest as their new head coach. Of course, we broke the news last night that Nuno Espirito Santo was leaving Forest, sacked, having guided them into European football for the first time since the 1990s last season. I said then I'd be very surprised if it wasn't Postecoglou, despite the fact Forest sources were telling us they didn't have a ready-made replacement lined up. Clearly they did. We got footage of the former Tottenham boss arriving at the Forest training ground an hour and a half or so ago, and Forest now rubber stamping that appointment. And interestingly, the theme of this statement, which is a little bit light on detail, doesn't mention how long Postecoglou's contract will be for. We understand it's a 2-year deal. We're waiting to find out about the makeup of his backroom team as well. But the theme running through it for me is about trophies. They point to the fact that Postecoglou guided Tottenham to their first silverware in 17 years, of course, winning the Europa League last season, qualifying for the Champions League. And quotes from Evangelos Marinakis, the owner, who ultimately has made the decision to change manager, says, "We're bringing a coach to the club who has a proven and consistent record of winning trophies." He goes on to say that after gaining promotion to the Premier League, building consistently season after season to secure European football, we must now take the right step to compete with the very best and challenge for trophies. So the gauntlet's been laid down really to Ange Postecoglou. Deliver silverware, and that might be easier said than done.
We'll let you get back on the treadmill, Crookie. Thanks very much.
Yeah. Cheers, Crookie.
Cheers, guys.
Alex Crook there, got him out of bed last night.
Wow.
Interrupting a gym session today.
Work really gets in the way of his life.
It does. Let's get immediate reaction to that story that Ange Postecoglou is the new head coach of Nottingham Forest from a legend, the club, Tony Woodcock. Hi, Tony.
Hey, Tony.
Well, it's all been very fast-moving, this, Tony. So, first, let's get your thoughts on Ange coming in.
Well, first of all, it's not happy news that when a manager gets dismissed or decides to go after quite a successful period with the club. And I know for a fact that Nottingham supporters, the city, they were delighted with what's happening at the club. Yeah. Having said that, Mr. Marinakis, he's put his money where his mouth is. He's been investing. Nottingham Forest have been getting better and better, and he's made a decision now that we've been reading about over the last week or 10 days, that something behind closed doors may have been happening. And what's really good, he's made a quick decision. They've got Big Ange in. I'm a big fan of his as well. We were neighbours in North London. I bumped into him on the streets. We've had a long chat. He knew all about Nottingham Forest and the Brian Clough years and the famous Miracle Men, and even about the time of my years in Cologne, when he was chatting about. So I'm delighted that Nottingham Forest have got him. And let's hope for improvements to carry on and on over the next few years.
Do you have any concerns about what you saw at Tottenham and the way that ultimately unfolded? Yes, they did win a trophy last year, but they also finished one place above the relegation zone with a lot of injuries.
I would have kept him at Spurs, and I'm an Arsenal man through and through. And that was a good thing for Spurs, I thought. But, decision was made. He wasn't gone there. He wasn't at the club very long then. And then that's it. Football's very quick moving. Things move on very, very quickly, as we've just seen in the last 24, 48 hours. I like the sound of him. As I said, I don't know him that well, but I've met him. I think he's a football man through and through. I think he talks a little bit of old school football, right? He's not sort of messing around with things. He's straight to the point and lets the players get on with it. And I think personally that's a good thing. So I'm expecting Forest to go from strength to strength.
The fans as well as anyone at Forest, Tony, do you think they'll be happy with the change?
As I just said, it's always disappointing and sad when things like this happen. And we don't know what's been happening behind closed doors. But because of the speed of getting a replacement in and the quality of the guy that they brought in as well, I think the excitement's going to be there. As I've just previously said, I know there's everyone in Nottingham speaking about European football because they haven't had it for so many years. And then we had the famous Miracle Men. So the excitement is there. Unfortunately, that's how it is in football. I think Nuno will be quickly forgotten, and if Ange gets a few good results, it's going to be glory, glory again for everyone. But it's not going to be easy. But I think it's a good trainer, a good manager, a good coach, as we say these days. You don't say we've got a new manager in, we've got a coach or a head coach in. So that's a slight sort of detail of what perhaps happens to the football club. With the signing of Edu coming in to having a bit of a powerful situation, a powerful position at the club. Head coaches are there to get points, to get the team to win things and get them up the league.
One of the comments since Ange was linked with the job and has now ultimately got it was that they'd assembled a team to play Nuno ball and now they had to play Ange ball. I just wonder, with some of the business that Edu's been involved with, and it seems there was some frustrations from Nuno that maybe he wasn't getting some of the players that he felt he needed, that won't be an issue. Do you see any issue with the personnel not being right for an Ange Postecoglou team?
Well, listen, you have to look at the personnel and you have to then adapt your team to what you've got there as footballers. It's no use if you're going to start putting high balls into the penalty box if you've got a small guy up there as centre forward. So you've got to look what players you've got available and what type of football and what type of player is best for position for the qualities he's got. So I've got no doubts about it that Big Ange will look at this and he'll sort it out. It may not be done quickly overnight because, new, I would call them head coaches, come in and they want their certain type of player. It's the case as well that how do Nottingham Forest Football Club want to play their football? They've been brought up on success of Brian Clough, who was a footballing man. We played really, really good football. Having said that, we could mix it with the best, however they wanted to play. So it's down to your personnel, it's down to the players you've got in the club and the way you're going to start playing, right? So he'll check that out. We know he's had success at every club he's gone to, and I wish him all the best at Nottingham Forest.
I was saying earlier on, Tony, that I'm sure he has learned from his 2 years at Tottenham. He's obviously learned from every country he's worked in, but the 2 years at Tottenham would have given him an idea of what you need to manage in the Premier League. And potentially, as I say, the Forest could be getting a better manager than Tottenham did simply for those 2 years of experience and everything he's learned in that time.
Oh, he's going to be fine, right? The way he conducts himself, the way he speaks about the game. I've spoke to one or two people around the Tottenham thing. Some couldn't cope with his, how would you want to say, being very forward, being straight, knowing what the players want. As I say, probably a bit of an old school, coach in that sort of thing. But I don't think it's going to be any problem. He's been at Glasgow Celtic. He's been around the bush. He's had a lot of players under him. He's going to be fine. In fact, we have a podcast called Grumpy Old Men of Football with Peter Reid and Viv Anderson, and we'll be talking about this and how quickly things move in football and what it's like for the head coaches, managers, directors of football and the structures, what are happening in a football club in the next couple of weeks. So it's going to be an interesting period.
Quick one on England before we let you go. How are you feeling about tonight and what you've seen so far from Thomas Tuchel? I mean, you follow German football because you played there. What do you make of what you've seen so far?
Well, the Germans are happy that we've got him. They've been right go as they are. And the German newspapers, they now need our coaches to succeed and things like that, and smiling about it. Let's be honest, not very impressive at the moment. The players we've got, he's going to have to find the right system, the right sort of players. We'd like to see them play the game a lot quicker. We'd like to see risks being taken. We'd like to see people going forward, right? We'd like to quicken the whole thing up. I know everyone speaks about possession this day and age, but the most important thing is football is putting the ball in the back of the net at one end and keeping a clean sheet at the other end. And just to quicken things up and get a bit of excitement, and let's have a little bit of risk taking and saying, listen, we've got the players here to win the game, and we don't have to lose the game, right, to actually win it. So if that makes sense. It's early days again, but we've seen this sort of thing over the years. He's got to get something together that's going to gel, and he's going to get the England fans excited. At the moment, it's not there. Let's hope things change pretty quickly.
Cheers, Tony. Appreciate your time.
Thank you, Tony.
Thanks very much.
Thanks very much. See you guys.
All the best. There's Tony Woodcock there, Forest legend, and it's a Tony Woodcock derby this weekend, 12:30. Angie's first game in charge, exclusively live. We bring you the game between Arsenal and Forest.
What a cracker. At
the Emirates. I'm also going to bring you Forest's first European game since 1996 on Wednesday, the 24th of September.
New Zealand-born main striker.
Yeah.
And an Aussie coach.
Yeah.
Naturally against each other, aren't they, Paul?
I don't know, it's massive.
They're going to fall out straight away.
They've not had a lot of wars. I mean, they're pretty easy.
They hate each other.
Pretty easy going.
Already, before they even get there.
No.
Before it even starts.
He'll find a way for it. I mean, Chris Wood put us to the sword when there was a game last season. With
I think he's a brilliant player.
Took us apart. And just seen a Forest team take us apart last year. Anyway.
Do you want to take calls, Paul? Do you want to take calls from
interested
Forest
in
fans?
It's official now, Forest fans. Interested to hear from you what Tony said. Tony seems pretty zen about it all. He thinks he's going to do a good job, and he doesn't see the issue. I mean, one of the frustrations as a fan is when you've lost a manager who's done a good job for and you liked, and you felt everything was settled at your club. Suddenly everything's thrown up in the air again, and that frustrates you. But let's kind of work beyond that, Forest fans. We know you're disappointed Nuno's gone, but what about Ange Postecoglou? Did you have other alternatives? How did you see him as a fit from what you saw from Tottenham? 03717 223344 and get in touch at talksport.com/H&J. You can text to 81089 and you can tweet to TSH&J. We'll talk Forest a little bit later on, and indeed Ange, from a man who's followed him very closely on the Spurs beat, as Tom Barkley from The Sun joins us. He's actually written a new book, Miracle in Bilbao, about that final season for Ange at Spurs when they won the Europa League. That's all to come. Jim Proudfoot on what to expect from Serbia tonight, and Matt Richardson, comedian, popping in to see us as well. That's all to come.
Ange Postecoglou's been papped at the Nottingham Forest training ground. We understand he will sign a 2-year contract. Our chief football correspondent, Alex Crook, has told us there have been problems behind the scenes at Forest since July.
Ever since Edu came in as the sort of overlord of all the clubs that Evangelos Marinakis owns, I think Nuno wanted a greater say in terms of recruitment. He wasn't happy with the signing of Douglas Luiz in particular.
Postecoglou was first approached by Marinakis early in August. Nuno was given time, though, to adapt to a new sporting structure, but was sacked overnight. But Forest legend Stuart Pearce is concerned the team's not set up to play Postecoglou's front foot style.
Very much a counter-attack style of play, defending deep, which suits Milenkovic and one or two others. I think we saw against West Ham when they had to come out and chase the game, they become a little bit open and vulnerable. Ange plays a style of play that is more expansive, more open, so the style of play's got to change.
And Miles Lewis-Skelly's been dropped for England's trip to Serbia. It leaves Dan Burn, Tino Livramento and Jed Spence as options on that side of the back four. The game is live on talkSPORT from 7 p.m.
Yes, it is Paul Hawksbee and Charlie Baker here on talkSPORT. We're going to be reacting to the news. Ange Postecoglou, the former Spurs coach, is now in at Nottingham Forest. It's been confirmed by the club in the last 20 minutes. And you think, Charlie, about the very fine margins between success and failure and a manager's future. Mickey van der Ven doesn't clear that ball off the line against Manchester United. He doesn't quite make it. The ball goes in. Who knows? Manchester United go on and get a second because the momentum would have shifted. Maybe win on penalties. Is Ange getting this job because he's then just a manager who finished 17th? I know you can think about football and millions of cases like that.
Yeah,
but
that's
them's the margins.
The barest of margins. Sammy's been in touch. Forest may as well save their legs, not bother with the Europe this year. After all, Big Ange only wins trophies in his second year. So, you know, you just chuck it in this year.
It's a 2-year deal. You've got a year to get used to it and the other year to go and win something. Lee's a Forest fan. He's joined us. Hi, Lee.
Hello, Lee.
How you doing? Are you all right?
Yeah, good, thank you.
Not so bad. So what do you make of this appointment now? It's official.
I think it's a step backwards, in my opinion. I don't think I can't recall from a fan perspective somebody going from a football club having achieved 7th and got them into Europe for the first time. You would never read that. So from a fan perspective, I think he's absolutely crazy from someone that, okay, it's Scottish football, he's achieved things at Celtic, but there's not enough there for me to take them to the next level, and ultimately I think they're going to take a step backwards for a period of time.
It's hard to ask you who you would have preferred because you've barely had time to digest the fact that Nuno's gone, so you probably wouldn't have even thought about who you would have liked next because the minute he'd gone there were already whispers that Ange was coming in.
Yeah, exactly. And I think for me, when I think of Forest, I think of relationships that have been built there and the personnel that we have, the nationalities that we have, and the type of football. I can just think of Marco Silva. That's it for me. But whether we could get him, I don't know.
Well,
Very good manager.
You're probably going to have to wait 2 years if things work out until you get him this time. Good man, Lee. Thanks very much.
Thanks, Lee.
Appreciate it. It's Lee, the Forest fan. We'll hear from more Forest fans and Tottenham fans. Interested to know what you make of Ange being back in the Premier League. Tom Barkley is going to join us a little bit later on, and Tom's understanding is that He was offered jobs in Germany and some international jobs, but he wanted to get back in the Premier League. He obviously feels look, he did win a trophy, but in terms of the league, he didn't have the greatest of times, certainly last year. I think he wanted to prove he could still cut it. Anyway, talksport.com, text 81089, tweet TSH and J 03717223344. We are joined in the studio now by comedian and broadcaster. We used to see in the building in his
He's an Oxfordshire bad boy,
Virgin
Paul.
Radio days. It's Matt Richardson.
Yes, I mean, this has gotten fancy since I was last near talkSPORT. I remember the Hatfields building where it smelt like a foot. This is lovely.
That's it. Yeah.
It still smells like a foot.
Yeah, just let me just bit.
That's us that smell like feet.
Oh, right.
And we haven't
I
changed.
understand. Yeah. Lovely.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for having me. A delight to be
pleasure.
here with you both.
Well, we know you don't really like sport that much.
Well, so I've got a complicated relationship with football because I'm from a football mad family.
Right.
Dad played. My brother they're big Reading fans.
Okay.
Which is not a great thing.
They've gone through the ringer recently.
Look, they've been there when they went up to the Premier League. They were there, and then now I'm assuming they're going to be there when they're Sunday League in a couple of years as well. I think they're finally happy that they've got rid of their old owners. That was a big thing for ages. But my brother, I texted him and I went, "How many games have you been to?" 492. He's kept a record.
Wow.
They are, which is not a fun 492 games, is it, with Reading? But so they're into it. You know, even my godfather, banned from Old Trafford for life for hooliganism. Football runs deep in the family.
Your dad
every Christmas a snooker ball in a sock.
Yeah. Exactly. He used to give me a kit and that.
Yeah.
A little Man United balaclava.
Your dad played.
He did. He played for Cardiff and for Newport back in the day, and then played for Wantage in the Hellenic League when I was younger. So I spent every Saturday at football and picked performing arts.
There's a bit. It's funny. There's kind of Alan Carr parallels because Alan wrote a show about the fact that the football was just so it was this expectation that he was going to love it, and he kind of railed against it.
You know what? And it's just that thing of I wish I loved it, especially as I've gotten older, because it's quite hard to talk to people who are men about anything if they're not. I'm not into football. You get lost in a conversation, but I've got friends who are footballers like Matty Taylor, who used to play for Oxford and both Bristol teams. And him and people always go, Matty Taylor. And I'm like,
yeah, he's great.
Yeah, why, is he good at his job? I don't know. Got no idea.
What's your tactic in a conversation when you're slightly out of your depth?
Turn it straight to politics, then they stop talking to me.
Right, that's nice.
I go very talk radio rather than talk sport, and then they stop.
Show.
Yeah. But yeah, it's like I live near some footballers and stuff. We're all very nice lads, but it's been slightly out of reach. But I try and blag through whenever I go and see it live.
You can't fake it. There's no need to fake it. Going on tour.
Yeah,
I am going on tour. Yeah,
Brash. I know you've been writing it for a while.
I have.
Matt and I are in a WhatsApp group, Paul.
Just the two of you.
Of Oxfordshire comedians.
We
all have a little moan or tell each other how badly our gigs went. It's like a support group.
Can you tell us who else is in it? Or not? Would you rather
Matt Bragg?
If you know Matt.
Yes, I do.
Andrew Bird.
Yeah.
Alexis Dubis.
Who's Marcel Lucon?
How
I'd say that.
Yeah.
And
Steve Hall.
Steve Hall. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great little group.
It's a writing group. They all meet and write. I don't.
What's the image on the WhatsApp group? The little image in the okay.
I'm not sure. It's probably a comedian we hate. It's worse than radio comedy for gossiping and moaning.
It's a picture. I don't know what it is. But anyway,
so you just sit there and bitch about other comedians.
So basically, I'm aware of what this show is about because it's we kick around jokes and ideas on this WhatsApp. So tell people what it's about, man.
It's about basically moving out to so I was in London for years, moved out to the countryside, tried to settle down. It's about that mostly, and all my friends having kids and trying to fit in. I've got a lovely story about a football player who lives in my village in the show who I won't say the team just to avoid, but you've just mentioned the WhatsApp group, so they got promoted last year, this team, to a different league, and they went on a night out straight from the pitch, a load of the players who live in the village, and on this night out, one of them relieved himself in someone's front garden. Turned around so they wouldn't see him. They had a ring doorbell, forgetting he's got his name and his number on the back of his shirt.
not the sharpest tool.
Well, they say that about footballers, and that really proves it.
Pointing at the back of his shirt with both his thumbs.
Covers his face to come in as well, turns around, gives himself away.
When the police turned up and he said, no, it definitely wasn't me. Well,
he was offside, though.
Yeah.
VAR.
Yeah.
VAR check.
Basically a VAR check. Stockley Park found him out. That's fantastic.
Oh, very good. Very good.
So, yeah, it's all about that, just a load of jokes and, just, what it's like, you're just cobbling together anything.
It's not PG, though, is it, Matt? A lot of the time, your stuff is slightly on the on the ruder side, I would suggest.
Yeah, definitely. I'm very rude.
Very funny.
Yeah, very smutty.
Oh, okay.
Bit smutty nightclub.
Bit of blue for the dads.
See, this is what he'd be like if I didn't check him. He pushes the envelope a little bit.
He really does.
Considering the time of day.
Is pushes the envelope a euphemism?
No, see what I mean?
It is in my show.
See what I mean? That's what
She really pushed the envelope.
That's what I'm up against.
You should cover the women's game.
Yes. So,
good stuff. So all around the country, Matt?
All over the place, all the way up to Aberdeen, down to the south coast and everything. Sort of, you know what it's like. You just go into any arts centre that will have you.
Aberdeen.
Are there places you'd never played before on this one?
Not on this one, no. Fareham in Hampshire. That's some of these comedians, they get to do the arenas in the big cities and you get the Fareham Live I've never done. But it's you know what it's like going around the country, Charlie. You play every small place. I've played every non-league football club. On a Saturday night as they're trying to get a bit more money.
I often say that non-league football is a tour of the worst towns in the country.
That's a bit hard.
And it sounds like your tour is following a similar path.
Pretty much. It's. I remember once back in the day. I'm from Didcot, and when they got in the FA Cup, and they get to play a big team, and you see
talking of bad town
millionaires getting off the coach in this awful little club. That's how I feel on tour sometimes.
Yeah. You've sold out Milton Keynes and Oxford, the local gigs.
Oxford sold out. Milton Keynes. I've sold out the 2 nights there. That's quite exciting. Brighton as well. But there's plenty of tickets.
You're
if you
very
like
good comedian, Matt.
Thank you very much, mate. If you like a night out with some very rude jokes, I'm the man for you.
I think your dad's association to Welsh football might help with the Newport sales. Now you've just told us.
Well, I'm from Newport originally. Well, my dad's from Newport rather.
Yeah.
I've got real family connections there. My great aunt has just been convicted of being Britain's oldest loan shark in Newport.
Is that on Channel 5?
No, it's going to be, hopefully.
Sort of thing you present.
Well, not anymore.
Yeah.
Back in the day. It'd be a nightmare, wouldn't it? You watch you go, how's Ian Lee got this over me?
Imagine that, the Matt Richardson. We want you to present Britain's oldest loan shark. I better actually let you know.
Just check some due diligence.
Yeah. There may be a conflict of interest.
Yeah. I'm in there getting a loan from her. For Christmas presents.
Yeah, and you have to go in undercover and pretend to me. She says, "Oh, hello, Matt. How are you? I haven't seen you for ages." No, I'm not Matt. I think you'll find. Yeah, I want to borrow some money, please.
I'm 86 years, which is also her interest rate.
I'm assuming now she's been arrested and convicted. Someone else is now Britain's oldest loan shark.
Absolutely.
Someone's taken the crown.
Left the floor clear for someone else.
Yeah. Some whippersnapper coming in.
That's nice. Some 79-year-old.
Yeah.
That's a special rate today, 74% APR.
Yeah.
Well, I'll break your leg.
Wow, what a family history, Matt. It's fantastic.
Oh, yeah, I don't really fit in. Everyone thinks I'm middle class. We've got that. We've got boxes. My 10-year-old nephew does UFC fighting. So, I really don't fit in going to see Phantom of the Opera for the 8th time.
At 10? That's fantastic.
Yeah,
Boxing Day's fun.
Yeah, children's UFC they do now. It's crazy.
UFC Pops. It's great, isn't it?
Woke nonsense. Just have a scrap.
Yeah, UFC Pops. Matt Richardson comedy.co.uk. All the dates there, and you can click through and you can buy tickets. Matt, lovely to see you.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks for coming in. All the very best with the tour. It's called Brash. Yeah, go and check it out. Matt Richardson comedy.co.uk. Jim Proudfoot's going to join us, your commentator tonight for Serbia, England. We'll have a good look at Serbia and what we can expect from them. Is it going to be just a high quality low block, or can we expect more than that? More from Jim in a moment. We're here as always with our good friends at Tool Station. Stay one step ahead, whatever the job. Next stop, Tool Station. This one is far from a friendly.
You're being given that opportunity with England. This is where you take it.
An own goal and a Declan Rice header. England 2, Andorra 0.
It's boring. We left after 80 minutes.
Fans have a right to come here and expect to see 4 or 5 goals.
People are just switching off or they're bored. I've got no genuine belief that we have any chance in this tournament.
He's got a chance to get the shot away! Vlahovic has scored for Serbia!
Tuesday's going to be a much more significant test and a much better barometer, bellwether of exactly where England are.
The competition is on, it's World Cup season.
I've been slightly disappointed with him in terms of that fearlessness, that fluidity, that freedom. We haven't really seen it.
Playing for your country is, the biggest honour for anyone. You have to take the opportunity.
Watson inside the penalty area, and Jude Bellingham with a flying header. England 1, Serbia 0.
It's camp by camp until we hopefully arrive in the US.
There's a big test coming up in Serbia, and talkSPORT will be there.
Yes, the tweet that went viral of one England fan showing the lady in front of him perusing kettles to buy on Amazon during the England game against Andorra kind of told you about the excitement factor within that game. Thomas Tuchel did have a chat with our own Faker others ahead of the game tonight, live on talkSPORT, and said that he understands that people want to see more from his team.
Is there a sense of frustration with that perhaps the team isn't getting some of the credit that you think they deserve?
No, absolutely no frustration, because why would we? That's just reality. We have high demands, our fans have high demands, and of course they expect always the very best. Reality is that I see what I see and I feel what I feel when I'm together with this group. This camp now, first camp in a World Cup season, was an excellent camp. And like I said, I think the occasion tomorrow will bring out the very best. I think it's in us. I think it's the exactly right moment for a test like this. And let's see if I'm right.
There we are. That's Thomas Tuchel. You also heard in that little build-up from Jim Proudfoot, our commentator this evening. And we're delighted to say joins us now. Hi, Jim.
Hi, Jim.
Paul, Charlie, hello. Welcome to a very hot, steamy and sultry Belgrade. I hope it was good with you guys.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. We're expecting it to be like that tonight. I wonder if that will feed into the way the game's played, Jim.
Well, we were at the stadium yesterday for the press conference at about the same time that the game was going on. It had cooled down quite significantly by then. I think it does drop off. It didn't really feel as though it was going to be difficult conditions to be able to play the game in, or not prohibitively difficult, not as bad as the games at the World Cup would be if England were to qualify. And so I don't think it will be a problem in terms of the weather, but the intensity of the atmosphere is something that England's certainly going to have to deal with tonight.
You've done your homework on Serbia ahead of tonight's game. I'm just wondering what we're likely to see from them from previous games and the way they've approached sides that are a bit further up the food chain than them nominally. As I said, I wonder if are we going to get a slightly better quality low block or not?
It's only going to get a slightly better quality, slightly higher block, I think. I mean, it's not going to be too different. I mean, they are essentially Andorra, but better at it. But they will have a starting position that's a little bit higher. I think the fact that they're playing at home in a game that they really have to win if they're going to finish top of this group. So that means that they're going to have to come out and attack England at some stage. They'll play with the back three, like Andorra did, but The difference being that the three centre-halves will play much wider. Pavlovic will play on the left of the three. He is the one that will then push forward. And so when they're trying to construct an attack, they'll do so by getting him out to the left wing, with Kostic, if he plays at left wing back, playing much more advanced. So it's not going to be a bank of 5 and a bank of 4 as we saw against Andorra. There's a little bit more craft to it than that. It'll be interesting to see if England can turn over possession. If you can press Serbia, I think the theory is that you can force them into errors, and that may be the best way in. Now, when England played against Serbia in Gelsenkirchen in the Euros, you'll remember that it was a 1-0 win with an early goal from Jude Bellingham, and that came from England turning over possession in the middle of midfield with Jude himself, getting the ball out wide, and then making a really good uncharted run towards the edge of the penalty area. So that probably is how you break this Serbian defence down, but they, like England, haven't conceded a goal in qualifying so far.
The way we're playing is, it's completely turned me off to watching England, if I'm honest. We have all these creative players. Admittedly, none of them are as good as Louis Dennis, Jim. But
sorry, that's a Torquay player.
That's a Torquay reference. But he doesn't seem to be able to get them to play, which was his promise when he came in, was he was going to get us to be creative.
Charlie, I understand exactly what you're saying, but my take on it is this. It's not England's ability to beat sides outside the top 50 in the World Cup that are going to define Thomas Tuchel's reign, unless the results are so bad in that game that England don't qualify. It's the ability to be able to find a way of beating top 20 opposition, top 10 opposition late in tournaments. We don't know yet whether that is going to be conveyed. And I genuinely think, I'm not being disingenuous by saying, just because England struggle to get an XG of more than 2.5 against Andorra, that it doesn't follow that when you're playing against sides who don't play with such a low block, that you can't find an answer to those problems. I think that matches against Andorra, and to a certain extent in this group against Latvia, are just necessary evils, really. They're there to endure, to get through them, make sure that you get the maximum points. But I don't judge Thomas Tuchel's ability to be able to get a tune out of this England team on what we've seen in the games so far. Now, don't get me wrong. The performances haven't been great. I think the Senegal defeat in particular, a match at home to a side who were ranked about 30th in the world, was a worry, particularly the number of opportunities that the Senegalese were able to create. Now, I will happily speak to you tomorrow if England lose this game and there are no signs of promise at all, and say that maybe I've got it wrong. But at the moment, I don't think you can necessarily judge. But that's what makes tonight so important. This really is a barometer of, I think, what England can expect going forward, because it's a completely different test.
Just away from this, the big news of the day, of course, is Nuno going and Ange Postecoglou coming in. You commentating on a lot of Forest games last year. What do you make of that switch, Jim?
Well, the Forest fans are, I'm sure, not quite up in arms, but will be really saddened at the way that Nuno's run has come to an end. He leaves Forest, I think, apart from in the boardroom, probably on much better terms than he left Wolves, certainly than he left Spurs. Ange coming in to replace him, well, two managers that are completely different in terms of style. It's going to be very interesting to see whether Ange can adapt his, or whether he can get a tune out of players who are so wedded, or have been wedded over the last 18 months, to play in a specific way. So it's intriguing. It's absolutely intriguing. And, of course, the first game's live on talkSPORT at the weekend.
It is, that's right, yeah. Jim, enjoy tonight. We'll hear from you later. Thanks very much.
Up the goals, Jim.
Up the goals. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, Jim Proudfoot there, your match commentator, like Charlie, is a Torquay United fan.
Hampton and Richmond away last week.
He was in the game, yeah? In with the Torquay Ultras.
He was indeed, yeah. I think he was holding the drum. He wasn't holding.
No, he wasn't holding the drum. But he'll be in action for us tonight alongside Stuart Pearce, as always. Adrian Dime, your host, 7 o'clock. We get underway, 7:45 kick-off, and, of course, straight afterwards, you'll hear from everybody that matters in the game with Faker Others. And you can get your calls into Jamie O'Hara and Jason Cundy in the sports bar. I've seen a few comparisons to the early days of Capello's reign. We were fairly ropey in some World Cup qualifiers. Then we went to Zagreb to play Croatia in the what became known as the Theo Walcott game when he got that hat trick. We won 4-1.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it didn't necessarily translate into us winning the World
Translate into
Cup.
a trophy, did it, Paul?
It didn't, but, sometimes against better opposition, you see a better performance. So we shall see. We'll find out tonight on talkSPORT, all the build-up from 7. Still to come, Rafe Beckett, the racehorse trainer, is going to be... He would normally be racing tomorrow, but racing is off, and it's nothing to do with the weather conditions. Basically, racing is going on strike tomorrow.
Yeah.
Never happened before. Rafe will be telling us why they're doing just that. Sam Avery joins us, comedian and Evertonian. Going to talk about Jack Grealish. But there's a clamour. Depending on what happens tonight, the clamour may increase to get Jack in the fold, offer something a little bit different on the left.
A clamour increases or it dies down, doesn't it,
I think
Paul?
it does.
One
It
of the
does
two.
tend to. Jordan Pickford for life and all sorts of other stuff with Sam. And Tom Barkley with an Ange angle on what's gone on today. In case you've missed it, he is the new Nottingham Forest coach. That's all to come.
Or head to your local Nissan van centre.
Yeah, we'll continue talking Ange Postecoglou, and we'll be chatting to Tom Barkley from The Sun, who followed him at Spurs, and he'll be telling us about his new book, which very much centres around the final year for Ange at Tottenham. But first, Max Scott has the sports headlines.
Thank you, Paul. Good afternoon. Big Ange is back. Nottingham Forest have officially confirmed his appointment in a statement. Owner Evangelos Marinakis says the club are bringing in a coach with a proven track record of winning trophies. But despite that, Forest legend Stuart Pearce has his own concerns.
The only thing that worries me, Simon, is the style of play. I think there's a group of players here that have got into a groove, and the style of play has brought them success, that counter-attack.
We understand Ange has signed a 2-year contract. Our chief football correspondent Alex Crook broke the story first and told us there have been some problems behind the scenes at Forest since July.
Ever since Edu came in as a sort of overlord of all the clubs that Evangelos Marinakis owns, I think Nuno wanted a greater say in terms of recruitment. He wasn't happy with the signing of Douglas Luiz in particular.
He'll take charge of Forest's trip to Arsenal live on talkSPORT Saturday lunchtime. Elsewhere, with the long throw back in vogue and Thomas Tuchel talking about deploying it, Tony Pulis told talkSPORT exactly how to go about it.
The delivery has to be good, and you have to have people who want to head it. If you don't get those two, then it doesn't work.
Serbia versus England is live on talkSPORT from 7 p.m. and Ben Stokes will be fit to play in the Ashes this winter, according to his coach at Durham. After a shoulder injury, Stokes is batting again in the nets. Bowling will take a little bit longer. Loads more Ashes build-up on talkSPORT's YouTube cricket channel.
talkSPORT News.
Former Commons leader Lucy Powell has entered the race to replace Big Angela Rayner as Labour deputy leader, and JD Vance has leapt to the defence of Donald Trump after the new revelations of a Jeffrey Epstein birthday scrapbook.
talkSPORT weather with QuickFit. Get a free vehicle safety check at all of our 600 centres nationwide to keep you safe on the road. Visit your local centre or quickfit.com and book today.
Outbreaks of rain in the west and southwest, mostly dry elsewhere with some sunshine.
Good afternoon, it is Paul Hawksbee and Charlie Baker here on talkSPORT. We're in the second hour of the show. Rafe Beckett, racehorse trainer, joins us. Racing goes on strike tomorrow. Rafe will be in Westminster putting the case to the Chancellor and the government for not changing some of the rules around taxation on racing. He'll be telling us why and how it will affect the racing industry. Sam Avery, comedian and Evertonian, about to go on tour. He joins us for a chat. Jack Grealish was on everybody's lips after the game against Andorra, feeling maybe he could have added a bit of trickery.
You'd think so.
Rather than the sort of direct running of Marcus Rashford, which didn't quite work for us on the day. And Tom Barkley, author of Miracle in Bilbao, who was on the beat for Tottenham, for the Sun, and got to know Ange pretty well, gives us his take on that switch.
Yeah.
To
big news, Paul, isn't it?
Big news. We've had reaction today. From
some reaction. I'll give you some reaction. I'm a Spurs fan. This is Mike from Exmouth.
Yeah.
Nice bit of the world. And wish Ange nothing but the best. He's a Spurs fan. And I do think he wins him something in his second season. He'll win Forest the Championship playoff final.
Yeah, see, that's again a bit. I was always going to be a bit salty, wasn't it? I've seen a bit.
I liked it, though. I thought it was fun. I think Matt in Enfield, Matt Dixon. Hello, Matt.
Yeah.
Look, I'm a Spurs fan. Part of me wants Ange to stuff us at the lane and then cup his ear to the crowd just to see the fallout. He wants that.
Is he really a Tottenham fan?
And he's a Spurs fan, Matt Dixon, watching himself outside Dixon's.
Okay.
Here we go. And what else have we got here? I hate to say it, there'll be nothing more Spursian for Ange to be a huge success at Forest and to finish above Spurs at the end of the season. That's Ben. He's a Spurs fan. Spurs fans sort of like having a go at themselves.
Yeah, we do like to self-flagellate.
It's a lot of that going on.
We often march into the ground beating ourselves on the back with sticks. Years and years of conditioning. We do like to beat ourselves up.
Do you want some attacked by inanimate objects? We were doing those,
this
weren't we,
is Erling Haaland. News has emerged a little bit more how he was. How he had his lip split and stitches after he was attacked by the coach at the door of the team coach, not the coach of Norway.
Paul, the Gooner's been in touch. Foolishly listened to my wife and joined a 24-hour gym. Feels a lot, 24 hours at a gym.
A 24-hour gym?
Who's going to the gym at 2:30 a.m?
But there are people in there, still a bunch of blokes. Yeah.
Who's in there?
Using that one, mate.
Cheaper than rent.
Yeah, that's
you snooze on a bench press.
Yeah,
for a bit. Anyway, on the first day, this is Paul. On the first day, I finished my workout and got my bag stuck in the revolving door as I was leaving. Took 5 minutes to get unstuck.
Yeah,
had a queue of annoyed gym members waiting to get in. What time was it? I've been too embarrassed ever to go back.
Yeah. It would have been very tempting for the people who took him. They always do that initiation at a gym.
Yeah.
Don't they? Where
they show him round.
Yeah, to show you around. What they call it? They show you how they put you on the equipment and you try.
It's an initiation, isn't it?
It's
no,
something.
Not. They don't like
another word.
Make you drink wee from a shoe.
No, I don't. Not the gym I went to. You went to it. It must have been a rugby. That would have been a rugby gym.
Rugby gym.
It would have been a rugby gym. But no, they make you go on this and you show you all the equipment. They say this is a bike. You sit on the bike and you move your legs on the pedals. But I say, I'm sorry, mate, but we have to do this.
We've got to do it.
These are weights. Don't lift up anything heavier. Just put them up in the air, put them down again.
It's not an initiative.
This is a running machine.
Word, Paul?
Just put
What's
one.
The gym. When you go in, they show you around. Come
Why is
on,
next
young
door
people.
not
Young
helping
No
us
and
out?
Young's helping us.
What's the
Someone will
word?
send
When
it
you-
in.
I'm looking next
You go
door.
to a gym and you have to go and do your thing the first day.
That's it.
What's it called? Induction. Thank you. Induction heater. There we
When they're not watching Neighbours and they're listening, it's fantastic.
I'll have what's an induction for two, please, John?
Yes.
What's that?
Yeah. Anyway, the point I was
Oh, yeah,
making
go
was
on.
about 5 minutes ago, before you were weeing in a shoe and drinking it, was imagine that the bloke. It would have been very tempting, the guy behind the counter, because they are quite intimidating gyms. You go in and they're very young and they look very fit and they glow, don't they? And you come in with your derby and a bit lardy, and you're thinking, oh God, I feel uncomfortable already. And they're doing their best to make you feel nice,
And they go,
but they
"This is the
probably
door."
thought, I'm sorry, mate. Maybe we should have included in the induction not catching your bag in the door.
The door.
Yeah.
Rob's been attacked by an inanimate object.
Oh,
Hi,
yeah.
gents. Rob
Yeah.
here. I'm an Arsenal fan. I was at the Meadows in the Mountain Festival in Bulgaria a few years ago.
yeah.
One of the stages in the middle of the woods. And as I walked through a giant tree, a branch blew towards me and I became entwined.
Oh, no.
My friends all laughed as I fought to break clear.
Yeah.
Tree branch snapped and remained wrapped around me.
That takes some doing.
I
doesn't
fitted the festival theme perfectly.
it? You can't really style that out, can you?
I kept it on
Oh,
for the
really?
rest of the night.
That's nice.
Stopped by strangers asking for selfies.
Yeah.
Meadows TV even interviewed me to congratulate me for my creative festival attire.
Nice.
There we are.
Best dressed man of the festival.
Very nice. I was dressed as a tree.
Yeah.
It's very nice.
I mean, I'm surprised people spotted him.
I know,
Is
yeah,
that-
exactly.
He joined the army after that.
He did, yeah, very good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Well, there's absolutely loads, Paul. Man, I don't know if you want me to.
I'll tell you what. Let's have a chat with Darren the Forest.
Oh, that'd be nice.
Let him get it off his chest. Let us be therapy for Darren. Hiya, Darren.
Hi, gents.
Hi.
So how are you feeling about all this, Darren?
I'm pretty optimistic, to be honest.
Oh, that's good.
That's good news.
Because when Stevie Cooper got sacked, I didn't think anybody thought Nuno was first choice, and he did a fantastic job, having not done such a great job at Spurs. So if the pattern follows, then I think we'll be. I like attacking football. I was brought up with Cloughie football many years ago, so I didn't want Nuno to go, but obviously it was inevitable once he'd fell out with the big gaffer.
I don't know if you heard what Stuart Pearce said earlier on. We just played a little bit in Max's bulletin that he's a bit worried that the team are set up in such they had got into a kind of groove. They were playing the Nuno way and they were set up to play that, and it fit them like a glove. I mean, Ange has got a very different approach, but I'd like to think Ange has learned from his 2 years and he'll be able to adapt.
But you think with the signings of like McAteer and Hutchinson and Louise, more possession-based, more player footballers rather than just relying purely on the pace.
Yeah.
And I love the football last season. I thought it was great because we weren't just tip-tapping it around. We were getting up the pitch and getting Chris Wood in the game. But I think with the other players, that might complement that. And, you know, I'm an optimist, you know, so you just think, well, let him go out and see how he does first before slagging him off.
If he can bottle those first 10 games I watched at Tottenham, which were phenomenal. The football
It's the
was
injuries
fantastic.
you worry about, isn't it, Paul?
Yeah.
You just
I mean, as I said, we'll find out whether he was just incredibly unlucky. And as I said, I have some doubts whether anybody can be quite as unlucky as he was over 18 months in terms of injuries. And his win record, really, because to a high extent, because of the injuries, was pretty poor. Not just in the final season when they finished 17th, in the second half of his first season. So,
especially with the pace
there are some red flags, definitely, Darren.
But if you flip it, Nuno was really lucky last year because we had a fantastic run of no injuries. So we had a really settled side.
Yeah.
And then just at the end of the season, he kind of caught up with us and when we just faded away because we picked up a couple of, injuries. So, you're going to get injuries all the time. Hopefully our physios are better than the ones at Spurs and we'll keep them on the pitch.
You never know, yeah. We'll get them as well then, Paul.
We'll find out. We'll find out if it was just misfortune or whatever. Good man, Darren. Thanks. It's nice and optimistic. Thank you, Darren.
I've got some texts for you here, Paul. Do you want them? It's quite a lot.
Yeah, go on, give us a couple.
Gym induction, Paul, Stu in Chester.
Oh, yeah.
Gym induction from Adam.
I think they're quite intimidating.
Mike says induction. Daniel Dean says induction.
Yeah, we've got that now.
Josh Austin it's called a gym induction, Paul.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Josh. Induction.
That's
Paul.
from a guy called
Anonymous.
Jim Induction, who I think was in a punk band in the 70s.
Hello, I'm Jim Induction.
Yeah, played bass for the Lurkers for a couple of years.
Stuart, the fat van driver.
Okay.
What's a gym?
If you've got some gym induction tales, because they said I think I've been on a couple over the years. and I found them quite intimidating.
Yeah.
There was just something about it. I know they don't mean them to be.
No.
And often they'll say, like, there's just,
I think they're covering their back.
They have to.
In case you hurt yourself.
It's an insurance thing.
Yeah.
But there is, I don't know, it's just something about gyms. I find public gyms quite intimidating. Do you find those?
I like it. I go to a nice gym. Yeah. Very nice gym.
Do you wear a tight vest when you work out?
Sometimes a vest, Paul.
Yeah.
I've been known to wear a vest.
Really?
Yeah, I've got a vest, Paul.
I can't see.
I'll wear it in one day.
Wear it
in under my leather jacket.
Yeah. Yeah, do that.
For charity.
Do that, Charlie. No one's going to ever take the mickey out of you for doing that.
What word could you not remember? 81089. That's good fun.
Yeah.
We couldn't remember the word induction then, either of us.
No, that's right. What
National
word
Radio.
could you not remember?
81089.
But surely, by definition.
No, but they've remembered it by now.
Oh, okay, right. Fair enough.
Standing by it. It's a good text topic. What word could you not remember?
By your standards.
81089.
And now, on an altogether more serious note, just let us know. Talksport.com, text 81089, tweet TSH and J 03717223344. Forest fans, Tottenham fans, interested to hear from you. How are you feeling about seeing Ange reappear so quickly and another Premier League job? Do you think he's going to want to sock it to us? Or you chuffed for him? Do you have your doubts from a Forest point of view? And Forest fans, how you feel about the appointment? But as we said on an altogether more serious note, there'll be no racing tomorrow in this country. They're going on strike. It's pretty unprecedented. And Rafe Beckett, the trainer, is going to join us for a chat very shortly to explain exactly why they're doing it, a bit of background to it, and their concerns, and why he'll be in Westminster lobbying the government and the Chancellor tomorrow. Sam Avery on Everton, more. Tom Barkley with a Spurs angle on Ange. That's all to come. We're here with our very good friends at Tool Station, standing behind every single tradesperson of Britain. Next stop, Tool Station. Now the clock's ticking on our biggest competition yet. Next Friday we'll be ringing 2 lucky listeners on air. There's £25,000 up for grabs, and both winners will get tickets to Oasis' final ever show at Wembley. It's your chance to be part of one of the year's biggest events and have £25,000 in your pocket. Don't look back in anger, it says here. Make sure you enter. And here's how.
18 plus, UK excluding Northern Ireland. For a chance to win, text the word Oasis to 83338 and you're in the draw. Text costs £2 plus 1 standard network rate message. You must have the bill payer's permission. Or you can enter for free by calling 0330 880 338. All entries must be received by the 19th of September at 9 a.m. This is a TalkSPORT limited promotion run on TalkSPORT, Talk and Virgin Radio UK stations. Full terms and conditions at talksport.com.
Now, the race meetings due to be held tomorrow in the UK are off.
Yeah.
This is because racing has gone on strike. Pretty unprecedented move. And quite a lot of senior figures from the world of racing will actually be tomorrow in Westminster lobbying MPs and the government. Here to tell us more about that, someone himself who will be in London is Rafe Beckett, the racehorse trainer. Hi, Rafe.
Hello, Rafe.
Good afternoon.
For those who've not been following this, it's probably worth giving a little bit of background as to why racing is down in tools tomorrow.
Well, the government are proposing to standardise the rate the tax rate on betting, so that racing will be taxed the same as online casino, and obviously. Racing is a huge employer, 85,000 people, and a genuine world leader in the sport, something that we can't claim in too many other sports or industries. And there's going to be huge ramifications from that standardised rate if it goes ahead.
Has there been a sort of conversation between the racing industry and the government so far? I mean, have they effectively dug their heels in? I mean, was this a fear of what could happen in the next budget?
That's basically it.
Yeah.
It's about what could happen on November the 26th. And, there are constant conversations going on. Obviously, I don't work for the BHA. I'm a former president of the Trainers Federation, but I'm not involved in the conversations. So they are obviously all confidential. But yes, the sport is lobbying the government constantly. It seems to us that the government is standardising the rate to make the thing across the board and their lives easier, as well as taxing the betting operators in a way that they hope will generate more revenue.
Yes, so this is called harmonisation, and the BHA showed harmonisation at 21%, which is the rate bookmakers pay for casino-style games, so roulette and your blackjack or online, all those things. And that would lead to an annual drop in income for racing of £66 million, rising to £160 million if the rates for some reason climbed to 40%. They do think that would put 2,000 to 3,000 jobs at risk in the first year alone. And a lot of those jobs are in rural areas, aren't they?
That's right. Racehorse trainers train, obviously they need facilities to train racehorses on. And so we're all in rural areas pretty much. And it could trigger a rise of 330 million decline over 5 years. So this is not insignificant. There aren't many rural employers of our size, and it's not just the people we're employing. I employ 60 people. That's probably 50 families that rely on me for an income, and we also house 40 people. So, and I'm, I have a large string of horses, but, I'm only one operator and there's 500 like me.
There is a feeling this is an existential threat to the sport. The BHA, British Horse Racing Authority, has said it threatens the very future of the sport. Do you feel it's that serious, Rafe?
I do, yeah. I mean, we've already lost 30% of my profession in the last 15 years. This is not we're not a sport that is thriving. We may be a world leader, but we're not. We're holding our own, and that's about it. We're certainly not a sport that's going forward, and this is going to strike at the very heart of the sport.
So the fixtures that have been rescheduled from tomorrow are Lingfield Park tomorrow. That's been moved, and Carlisle and Uttoxeter and Kempton Park. What does it take to cancel a meeting and to reschedule it? I'm assuming that gets in the way of because the horses need to be somewhere and the people need to be somewhere, and I'm assuming that takes an awful lot.
Yeah, so 3 of those meetings have been moved to today, and the 4th meeting, Kempton's, been moved to next week. So that, it doesn't per se affect us on that basis, but it obviously affects the revenue that will go to the sport tomorrow. Mm-hmm. There will be no revenue. And so that's why we're standing. The ramifications of that are serious. And it's the first time that the whole sport has done this ever. This has never happened before.
And finally, are there any signs, Rafe, that the government are willing to enter a sort of dialogue with you? And well, I mean, if there was a slight increase and not a standardisation or harmonisation, maybe would that be a compromise?
Well, and possibly, we're all there's a team of us going to Westminster tomorrow to lobby the MPs who hopefully will show up. I don't think the standardisation is the way forward. If I was in charge, I'd be doubling the tax on online casinos, which is where the gambling harm is done. Mm-hmm. Really. You can only bet on a horse race every 5 or 10 minutes and not 24 hours a day. We only race during daylight hours and not until lunchtime. So, and obviously, racing is betting on racing is a cerebral pursuit, it takes some thought. Mm-hmm. Betting on online casinos, well, that's just pressing a button, isn't it?
Rafe, we wish you well tomorrow. Thanks very much for joining.
Thanks,
Rafe.
Pleasure. Rafe Beckett, their horse racing trainer, will be in Westminster to chat to MPs about that change in the tax rules. It's Paul Hawksbee and Charlie Baker here on talkSPORT. We're going to be returning to the subject of Nuno Espirito Santo and Ange Postecoglou and the changes at Nottingham Forest, and Sam Avery, Evertonian and Evertonian comedian, shall I say? Evertonian and football fan is the same thing. Evertonian and comedian Sam Avery joining us.
He's all those things.
He's all those things.
He's all those things.
Joining us for a chat in a moment.
Ange Postecoglou's been papped at the Nottingham Forest training ground. We understand he will sign a 2-year contract. Our chief football correspondent, Alex Crook, has told us there have been problems behind the scenes at Forest since July.
Ever since Edu came in as the sort of overlord of all the clubs that Evangelos Marinakis owns, I think Nuno wanted a greater say in terms of recruitment. He wasn't happy with the signing of Douglas Luiz in particular.
Postecoglou was first approached by Marinakis early in August. Nuno was given time, though, to adapt to a new sporting structure, but was sacked overnight. But Forest legend Stuart Pearce is concerned the team's not set up to play Postecoglou's front foot style.
Very much a counter-attack style of play, defending deep, which suits Milenkovic and one or two others. I think we saw against West Ham when they had to come out and chase the game, they become a little bit open and vulnerable. Ange plays a style of play that is more expansive, more open, so the style of play's got to change.
And Mars Lewis-Skelly's been dropped for England's trip to Serbia. It leaves Dan Burn, Tino Livramento and Jed Spence as options on that side of the back four. The game is live on talkSPORT from 7 p.m.
Now, however you watch telly, you can now watch talkSPORT from Samsung and LG TVs to Fire TV, Chromecast and Apple TV, or just grab the app on Android TV or Google TV. You can even watch us on Prime Video. talkSPORT, live on your screen, as well as your speakers. Yeah, stop saying TV. I'm not sure about Bagpuss the movie, Will was telling us about. I mean, clearly someone's looked at the success of Paddington and said, yeah, we'll just dust Bagpuss off.
Are they going to have...
who's going to play him?
I don't know, The Rock?
Yeah, well, he's doing some different work, isn't he?
He's a big guy. You know?
Dwayne's been doing some different work.
Is it live action or is it animation, did they say?
I think they said it's live action.
Wow,
yeah.
I could see that. Maybe Alan
Brazil.
Be a good Bagpuss.
The voice of Bagpuss.
Not the voice of, just the look.
Oh, okay.
I could see him dressed as a nice cat.
We'll put that to Bagpuss's people.
Okay.
Let's hear from Andy, the Spurs fan, with his take on Ange popping up at Forest after a short spell out of the game. Hello, Andy.
Hello, Andy.
Hello, Paul. Hello, boys. Thank you for having me on.
You're welcome.
I've been going mad.
Oh, have you?
To all this. No,
crazy.
Goodness. 56 years I've been watching Tottenham, so you can imagine the state of me. But Ange last year was diabolical. He drives me mad anyway because you interview him, he's mumbling along, looking at his feet. What are you looking at your feet for? Look at me and tell me how rubbish you are. So I watched 90% of the home games. I mean, we lost so many home games last year. And
you're not cutting him any slack for the injuries or any of that.
No, I'm not.
Okay.
Everybody, he's knackered, Son. We don't get a tune out of Son, did we? Not the last year.
No, I mean I think it's on.
I don't listen. I've watched them. You know the best team that were down last year, us, were Nottingham Forest. I think we only won 2-1. They only won 2-1, but they came up as one. They went back as one. They were watching him. He was waving his arms. And Ange is just staying there. We're standing there, and he stands on his own. Nobody else wants to stand near him.
You don't think he would have learnt anything from his 2 years at Tottenham that'll make him maybe a better coach at Forest?
He had no plan A and he had no plan B. It was all just move up. Andy Jacobs must have been laughing when Chelsea hammered us. We had 9 men and he's still making us play on the halfway line.
He's gone though. You don't need to be as cross.
No, you can calm down.
You've got a new manager now.
Well, the way
Thomas the Frank
I did get real Ange vibes from the performance against Bournemouth the other day. Anyway, I'm sure that's cheered up the Forest fans. Andy there cheered them up.
Thank you, Andy.
Let's chat now to an Evertonian. Everything pretty rosy in that particular garden. New ground, playing some nice football. Lots of exciting new players coming in.
It's all working out for him, isn't it?
Most of the better players wearing little or no socks and little shin pads. Sam Avery, comedian Evertonian, joins us. Hi, Sam.
Hiya, folks.
Yeah. Who's going to play? You're going to throw your hat into the ring to play the voice of Bagpuss, the movie?
I can see you doing that, Sam, actually.
I'm waiting for the Super Ted live action. That's what I'm waiting for.
Scout Super Ted would be good.
Yeah, that would be good.
That would be fantastic, yes. So, going pretty well, isn't it, at the moment? There seems to be a good atmosphere at the new place. You seem to have settled in. You've got Grealish and Dibbling and all these exciting players with little shin pads. It's good times.
It is good times, and I know it's good times because I've not appeared on talkSPORT anywhere near as much as I normally do.
I thought we hadn't chatted to you for a while.
Yeah.
Must be going too well.
It's going too well. I mean, obviously, if it goes too well, then maybe you'll start getting me on again. But it's the extremes which is more interesting than if the outsiders. But as an Everton fan, it's a great time to be alive. It really is. I was just, this time last year, I took my lad to his first match, and it was in Goodison, obviously. It was the Carabao Cup. We got knocked out to the now relegated Southampton. We had 20% possession. We lost on penalties. It was one of the worst games of football I have ever watched in my life. My kid loved it because it was his first match. But fast forward a year, we've got a new stadium, we've got a new manager, we've got a new team, pretty much. I mean, we've signed that many new players and other players have gone out of contract. I mean, why stop there? Playing a different colour. I mean, you mentioned it.
Not red, obviously.
Not red, maybe purple. Yeah. Some kind of like the bins round here.
Have you got in the new place? You've been in to see a game at the new ground.
Bill Dickinson.
No, because I've been away. I've been away when we've been playing, so I was watching. I was watching the games from afar, and it looked amazing. From everyone I spoke to who's been, it sounded amazing, and it feels like a reset and a refresh. It almost feels like. It's, the end of Back to the Future when Marty McFly wakes up and he goes into the kitchen and his mum and dad are quite successful all of a sudden.
Oh, yeah.
Instead of being these like anxiety-ridden like losers. It feels like that with Everton. And the game against Brighton, they had loads of chances to score and they didn't. And I was sort of half joking going, maybe the curse has been lifted. Maybe the future's bright and good things are going to happen.
Have you heard from other Evertonians about their match day routine, Sam? Because I mean, when West Ham moved to Stratford, some of the West Ham fans would still have a drink or a bite to eat near Upton Park because that was their routine. Then they'd get themselves down to Stratford. I mean, what is it? About 10 minutes in a cab, isn't it? I guess from Goodison to the new place. So people could maybe stick with their own routines. I don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I know the Winslow, which was right on Goodison Road. I know they were doing a bus for the first couple of games for people who wanted to go there and have a drink and get a minibus up. But I think because it's so close to the proximity of Liverpool City Centre, from what the people I've spoke to, they say like Liverpool City Centre just turned blue on a match day because everyone's in town, in the pubs around town. There's a lot of new places that have sprouted up in the area between Everton's ground and the city centre. This is like a really, really thriving new area where all these old industrial buildings are being transformed into bars and big areas. So there's a real nice procession of Everton fans just walking down.
Yeah. And there's is it the Bramley Dock Arms or whatever it is? The Bramley Dock Hotel right opposite.
Trouble, didn't they?
Talk about win the lottery, Sam. When they're...
Oh, I know. I know. I mean, I was joking about Back to the Future. If I could go back in time and just buy a couple of little boozers around there 10 years ago, I'd be on my way to Turkey to get my hair done. But,
Jack Grealish, I mean, I don't know if he's the sort of player who you will have shouted all sorts at in the past, Sam, and now you have to say, I didn't mean any of that. I think you're amazing. But he's made a great start, loads of assists already.
Yeah, I mean, there's a few Everton fans I've made through who've sort of had to apologise for all their previous social media posts about and I've always liked him. He's a very likeable chap, and obviously even more so now he's wearing our kit. But he's just they always say don't fall in love with a lone player because it's like a holiday romance in it. But I can't help it. I've booked my neck tattoo in for tomorrow, and I'm getting it done.
I don't think you'll get his calf. You won't get a tattoo of his calves on your neck, Sam.
I haven't got a big enough neck. I'm not a giraffe.
Why'd you get a tattoo of his calves on your calves?
On your calf, yeah.
Yeah, that would be.
I don't think my calves are big enough to fit them on.
The only person who could do that is Lloyd Griffith, and he wouldn't want that. He wouldn't want a man with big calves.
You're off on tour, Sam. Tell us about it.
So it's called Thunderstorm. It starts on Saturday in Norwich, and I've been working on this show for 18 months, so I'm dead excited to finally release it into the wild. And I suppose, like anything, you've got to come up with the title kind of 18 months before you actually start the show. So I called it Thunderstorm because I thought, well, I can talk about the fact that we're all going through a thunderstorm personally, as a nation, as a culture, a lot of problems. But I wanted to call it Thunderstorm because at the end of a thunderstorm, the clouds part and the sun comes out. And then I explained that to someone, and he said, that sounds very much like the start of You'll Never Walk Alone. I was like,
when you walk through a storm, hold your head up high and don't be afraid of the dark.
Yeah.
So the big reveal at the end of the show is you're now a Liverpool fan, is it that?
No spoilers, Charlie. No spoilers. But I'll be avoiding those words in that order at all times during the show. But really looking forward to doing it because a lot of the stuff I do is online. So it's nice when you're actually in front of a live audience and you kind of connect with them in that way. It's much better.
SamAveryComedy.com. All the dates are there and you can click through. I see you've got you're in Chorley. Is it tomorrow night? Bit of a warm up before the tour gets underway?
Yeah, I've got a preview in Chorley, and then if last time I was in Chorley, I made the mistake of saying that Chorley cakes and Eccles cakes are pretty much the same. I know we've got a lot of arguing in British culture at the moment, but that was like the biggest incendiary point I've ever been involved in.
You're better than that, Sam.
I've never had I've had an Eccles cake, but I've never had a Chorley cake. Let me have a look.
What is the difference, Sam? Did you find out when you had one thrown at your head?
I promised myself that night I'd take some time out with my family and work on myself. And I clearly haven't done that. I think
go off social media for a bit.
This is what Chat GPT or the equivalent says. Yeah. Chorley and Eccles cakes are similar.
Oh, right.
Fruit-filled pastries, but different in their pastry and sweetness. So it was the nuances you clearly missed out on, Sam, in this case.
That is nuances everything, isn't it? In this world?
Very much is.
So, I apologise.
I'd like to try Chorley cake. Maybe we'll see if we can get them down in London. We'll find out.
This is a big shout out to the people of Chorley to send Paul some cakes.
Yeah. Well, I'm interested.
I'm also at that point in my life though where I'm struggling to look in the mirror and see the person that I am, which is this middle-aged man. And my birthday in July, my wife bought me a pair of Skechers. My reaction was, ooh, Skechers. And she was like, really? I didn't think you'd want Skechers. They're for older people. And I went, no, they're not. I said, a lot of younger people are wearing them now. It's been rebranded. People like Jamie Redknapp, 51, Snoop Dogg, 52, and Sugar Ray Leonard, who's 78. So,
are they the slip-on Skechers? Because I feel like you've given up on life if you get those.
I haven't got slip-ons yet. No, I'm clinging on. I've still got laces. But
he can still bend out. He does make that noise as he bends down to do the laces up. So, well, Sam, we'll catch up with you during the season, probably when it's all going pear-shaped. And
speak to you next week.
But all the very best with the tour. Good to talk to you. Thanks a lot.
Great. Thanks, fellas.
Go and see Sam on tour, as we said. Sam Avery. Comedy.com. Very funny man, isn't he?
Yeah, he's very good. Very good. Also, his online stuff's really good. Find him on Instagram. He's very, very good.
So he's kicking off in Norwich, right around the country. Wherever you are, he'll be, I'm sure. And he's touring right through till Feb. Tom Barkley pops into the studio. Was on the Spurs beat for The Sun during the Ange Postecoglou years and has written Miracle in Bilbao, that unlikely denouement to a pretty awful Premier League season last season when Spurs and Ange won the Europa League. And, of course, he's popped back up at Forest. That's been confirmed in the last couple of hours. We'll get Tom's thoughts on that very shortly. We're here with Tool Station, ready to help at over 580 stations nationwide. Next stop, Tool Station.
I always had a very good relationship with the owner. This season, not so well.
His future is unclear.
Nuno Espirito Santo sacked by Nottingham Forest and is ready to accept the job, ready to return to the Premier League.
Tottenham end the season 17th in the Premier League.
I'll tell you one thing, I'm not a clown. I never will be, mate.
It's glory, glory, Tottenham Hotspur. The Europa League is theirs. He told you, he always wins something in his second season.
Whether he's going to have learnt lessons from Tottenham, he'll have the same challenges. Nottingham Forest are looking upwards. Marinakis is no easy person to work for.
I don't get how you can have Ange, because the style of football is so fundamentally different.
Do you have to change it a bit to win?
Does that suit Forest with their counter-attack method of play? That's my question mark with Ange.
I'll leave you with this. All the best television series, season 3 is better than season 2.
Well, he never got a season 3, but this is quite an interesting. It's an interesting spin-off, isn't it? Really?
yeah. This is like he's gone over to +1.
Yeah. Joining us in the studio now, a man who watched the Ange Postecoglou era unfold at Spurs and has now actually written a book which is out at the end of this month called Miracle in Bilbao, looking at that final season when, as we just heard, Ange got over the line and won the Europa League for Spurs. Tom Barkley from The Sun has joined us. Hello, Tom.
Hey, Tom.
Hi, guys.
Has this blindsided you a bit? You've been obviously doing a real deep dive on Ange recently, and you've probably he's completely in your head at the moment, and here he is front and centre in the news agenda again.
No, because I'm led to believe that after leaving Spurs, he felt like he effectively had unfinished business in the Premier League. He wanted to stay in the Premier League. I think his family's pretty settled over in England after years of going around the world in all these different jobs. So despite having interest from Saudi Arabia, from I think Bayer Leverkusen were interested, I think he was waiting to see about the Premier League. And once this situation with Nuno Espirito Santo, which I think is fair to say that has blindsided most people, given that he signed a new contract back in the summer. Once that became apparent that it felt like he was going to leave at some point, then I felt like actually out of all the clubs in the Premier League, maybe this one was the one that was best suited to Ange, even though there are obviously question marks about the style.
We were saying earlier on that maybe in these 2 years he learned a lot and he will adapt his style, but we didn't see we saw it very late in the day in the run to the Europa League final, where we saw, say, a complete about turn, a very, very defensive, low block style to ride a lot of these games out, hitting teams on the break. I wonder what sort of compromise we might see from him, because he's always been big on saying, you've sat in enough press conferences with him where he says, it's who we are, this is the way I play, I'm not going to change my ideas for anybody.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's going to be the big question mark, as all of the other guys who've spoken today about him already have been questioning how it's going to fit, given that Nuno played a real counter-attacking style. But, I will point to what you said there about how he went about winning the Europa League. Yes, it might have been towards the end. Maybe he should have done it sooner. But you ultimately can only judge people on what they actually deliver rather than what they say. And he did change the system dramatically, and it paid off in Frankfurt. It paid off against Bodo at home and away, and then obviously paid off in the final against Man United to make him a European champion.
Yeah, always struck me as a very proud man, and a very proud manager. You look at, everyone had an impression of him. Everyone had the "who we are, mate," and we had the clown situation, and he never seemed to like any of that, actually, because I think he felt like it almost diluted what he was doing as a football manager. I wonder if he'll try and take that seriousness into Nottingham Forest.
I don't know. I think he's there are so many different sides of Ange that he showed throughout his time at Spurs, where you often saw in those post-match interviews on TV or on radio, where it was often very much in the aftermath within minutes of the final whistle, often last season when the results hadn't been very good, where you saw a really spiky side to him. And then in press conferences, particularly ahead of the game on like Friday, where he had a bit more time, particularly with the written press. I'm not just saying that because I am part of the written pack. It almost surprised me because all those interactions were filmed anyway. So what difference does it make? But you could find a much more sort of relaxed, enjoyable experience for Ange, where he'd give as good as any manager I've dealt with in terms of giving great copy for journalists. And I imagine that'll be the same at Forest, to be honest. I don't imagine it'll be any different.
What do you say to the theory then that this was a man decimated by injuries who could never put out generally the team he wanted to put out to play the style he wanted to? Is that fair or not?
No, I don't think it's 100% fair. I think he would suggest it with all the injuries, and the injuries were no doubt a factor. Going through every single match and looking back on it, no doubt they were sort of had injuries throughout that caused problems. But I look at how he went about winning the Europa League from the knockout stages onwards. And in the book, I've tried to explain how I understand him coming up with that idea to win it, why he just didn't do it more often in the Premier League. I just feel like he could have done it sooner. You often mention the midfield and how overrun it was. But actually, to be fair, that's how Spurs played the other day against Bournemouth. They seemed to get overrun in midfield. Yep. So it felt like echoes of last season. But when he went about winning the competition, suddenly he had two in midfield with Basuma playing his best football since the start of his tenure. I still don't understand personally why he didn't stick with that, but that's more of a personal
point. I mean, to work when you've got a lot of injuries like that and you've got a very definite way of playing, then common sense tells you you're going to have to tweak your beliefs purely to get a tune out of the players that you do have at your disposal to get results, because that's the job of a football manager. But game after game, we were just completely overrun, and it just looked naive. And you thought, I couldn't quite see what he was trying to do, what he was trying to achieve with the personnel he had, and he wasn't eking the best out of them. And that was the frustration last year.
Yeah, I can totally understand that. I live in the Spurs world now with this job, and I could sense that frustration when you're at games or social media, everything, any fan you speak to. And that's why I say I'm sort of slightly baffled why he didn't go down that approach more often in the Premier League. But I believe that he felt that he was trying to bring an attacking style of play to Spurs, which we obviously saw in the first season, and he was sticking
the mythical first 10 games.
Yeah,
if you could just, if Forest could bottle those first 10 games, I feel that maybe to an extent. I mean, what injuries again affected those first 10 games? Madison got injured, Van de Ven got injured that night. They missed.
That was the Chelsea game, wasn't it?
They missed Christian Eriksen. Christian Eriksen. They missed Christian Romero because he'd been sent off in that game. They certainly did miss Christian Eriksen, but that's not the point. So they could never quite find that again. They could never get into that groove again. It was a pretty amazing little period where the football was fantastic. I wonder again to an extent whether teams had sussed them out a little bit after that many games. Was there an aspect to that to it?
Yeah, I definitely think so. I mean, we're talking more about the first season rather than the first season. But I mean, I think any new manager who comes in playing a different way, once teams will start to adapt, and I did think we started to see that. But you're right, the Maddison being injured, Romero, Van de Ven, these were such key injuries that it basically derailed their season. And into the second season, they had a hangover still when the injuries started to pile up more and more throughout the campaign. But I think one of the things that people are waiting to see with Ange at Forest is how much he's learnt from that experience. Sure. And I imagine that he probably will show a bit more flexibility than he did in that first, particularly in fact, most of his time at Tottenham.
Yeah. I mean, potentially, I said earlier, they could get a better manager than we saw at Spurs simply because he has had that experience.
He wins the UEFA Cup again, Europa League again. You're going to have to write another book.
I was going to say, I mean, the book went to press like a week ago, and already I've missed two massive parts of the story. Daniel Levy leaving, and now Ange getting a new job at Forest. They're obviously two massive characters.
Can't put a little leaflet in the back of the book.
I'll try it. Maybe the paperback version if it does well.
Well, do come and see us, though. I think the book's out at the end of the month, isn't it?
Yeah, September 20th.
So we'll have a deeper dive into it, and we can sort of take stock of his first few weeks in charge. His first game in charge is live on talkSPORT this weekend. We've got the game 12:30 exclusive. And what a trip for him to go, because he used to get quite a lot of clog from the Arsenal fans who mentioned his weight and his his Australianness.
Oh, right, okay.
In a tune that they used to sing.
You mentioned that, but actually the last time he went to the City Ground, I remember being there when they lost 1-0 just after Christmas, and he got a lot of what you're talking about from the City fans, from the Forest fans rather. So obviously they're going to have a bit of an adaptation there if they're going to embrace him.
Good stuff. Okay, we'll see you at the end of the month to chat about the book. It's cool. If you want to pre-order, it's called Miracle in Bilbao by Tom Barkley. Thank you, Tom. Thanks very much.
Thanks, Tom. Thanks, guys.
There we are, the Suns' very own Tom Barkley. We'll catch up with him later in the month and see how Ange is doing in his first few weeks. H&B versus Chat GPT. We're talking about Carlos Alcaraz, new book by Mark Hodgkinson, tennis writer and author, about Carlos Alcaraz. And Max Scott, our very own resident Forest fan, is going to give us his take on the day. It's been pretty breathtaking stuff for him. And we'll talk a bit of England before we hand over to Andy Goldstein and Darren Bentwood Drive.
talkSPORT Sports Update, powered by the Nissan Van Range. Supporting van owners to get the job done. Search Nissan Vans or head to your local Nissan Van Centre.
Good afternoon, I'm Max Scott here with your sports headlines. Another day in the life of Nottingham Forest. Nuno sacked, big Ange in, and after Nuno's public criticism of Evangelos Marinakis, Simon Jordan says this was just an inevitability.
It's absurd. You're an employee. You wouldn't appreciate your players going into the media and saying, my relationship with the manager, not so good. We had a good relationship last year, not so good now. We don't talk very much. What would Nuno Espirito Santo do in that situation? He'd probably go apoplectic.
Marinakis says Postecoglou has the credentials and track record to win trophies at the City Ground. But why the dramatic shift from Nuno's solid defence to Ange's full-throttle attack? Well, Alex Crook was first to break the story and told us Forest thinking behind the appointment.
I think the playing style is a big part of it. As I say, I think they want to dominate games more. They want to be more entertained.
Postecoglou, who we believe has signed a 2-year contract, will take charge of Forest's trip to Arsenal, live on talkSPORT this Saturday lunchtime. Ahead of England's qualifier against Serbia tonight, live on talkSPORT, Forest and England legend Stuart Pearce, who's been underwhelmed by life under Tuchel so far, says a lot's riding on this performance.
The Serbs have got to come out and play a little bit. They've got to go after us, might suit us a little bit. But this is the acid test tonight. It's going to be a really tough game, no doubt about that.
Coverage starts from 7 p.m. tonight, and Sam Curran has been named in the England cricket team for the first T20 international against South Africa in Cardiff tomorrow. It'll be the first time he's played for his country since last winter's tour of the Caribbean.
talkSPORT News.
The BBC Director General has told MPs we may see more things coming out in relation to broadcaster behaviour scandals, and the US Vice President's accusing Democrats of a fake scandal surrounding documents related to the late paedophile Jeffrey Epstein.
talkSPORT weather with QuickFit, proudly supporting air ambulance charities this Air Ambulance Week. Every mission starts with you. Visit Air Ambulances UK to learn more.
Outbreaks of rain in the west and southwest, mostly dry elsewhere with some sunshine.
Good afternoon, Paul Hawksbee and Charlie Baker here on talkSPORT. You're going to be talking about Carlos Alcaraz a little bit later on. Mark Hodgkinson, the tennis writer and author, has written a new book.
He's my new hero, I think, Carlos Alcaraz.
Is he really?
I absolutely love him, Paul. He's brilliant. He's brilliant. Doesn't give up. He's the go-get-it in human form. just hits it as hard as he can. Just great.
He's gone for the shaved head look. I mean, he didn't go for it. He had his brother put the clippers on the wrong setting.
My son's friends did that to him. He asked them to the other day.
Yeah.
They did not do a good job, Paul.
Just like number one all over is not as easy as it sounds.
Not as you'd think it would be the easiest one to do.
Yeah,
but it was.
Was it a bit uneven?
A bit uneven all over the place. I've offered for him to pay for him to get it.
Looked like a collaborator.
Fixed.
Really? A bad look. Bad look.
Yes.
Okay. Well, we're going to talk about Carlos Alcaraz, another grand slam for him. The other day. Last six slams have all been Sinner and Alcaraz.
Yeah, they're good.
Is that good for the sport or not?
I think it's too bad for the sport.
Do we need a third wheel?
Yeah.
Where's the Andy Murray in this?
When Jack Draper gets fit, he's got a bad arm at the moment. When he gets fit, he's very, very good. He's up there.
Yeah,
he could get to that level.
It is a fascinating sort of battle between the two. But anyway, we'll chat to Mark a little bit later on. And, Max Scott is a massive Forest fan. You're probably aware of that if you listen to this station. And he's just having to sit there and read his bulletin. But we're going to let him cut loose and get his take on what's gone on in the last... it's not even 24 hours.
The humanity.
Yeah.
One of those.
It's like 14, 15 hours. His whole club has been thrown up in the air. So we'll find out what he makes of it all. But before that, it's H&B versus Chat GPT.
H&B versus Chat GPT.
Now, I'm sure you're aware if you've got Chat GPT on your phone or whatever that it knows everything.
Knows everything.
And you can ask anything and it knows everything. And
constantly learning from itself.
Yeah, exactly. So what chance has a human being got when it comes to football predictions from something that is constantly learning?
Exactly.
Because let's be honest, Charlie, we stopped learning years ago.
Years and years ago.
But we decided to take Chat GPT on, and we thought, and so what you're going to hear the real thoughts of Chat GPT. The delivery system is a touch shonkier than you're probably used to if you normally get the Chat GPT.
But he's got his own. They've got their own charm, haven't they?
They have got their own charm. It was a budgetary thing. We really couldn't afford the sort of money that voice cost. So we've gone for a sort of 80s speak and spell. It's a bit Scandi, isn't it?
A little bit Scandi, and it doesn't like us. But he did a little pop at us.
He did take in a... Well, they did. I keep doing this.
It's all right.
They did get me pronouns right.
Come on.
They did take in a game last night.
Did they? They went to a game.
It's an unlikely game. Hello, Chat.
Hello, Chat.
Where were you last night?
Went to Scotland match last night, lads.
Went to Scotland
match.
That's not so bad,
Wow,
is it?
in Belarus.
I mean, it was behind closed doors. How'd you get in?
The Belarus National Lottery computer got me in.
Oh, the Belarus National Lotter computer. I think that's the Belarus National Lottery computer.
He said it in Belarusian.
Yeah, I think he probably did. So,
Okay, the new.
okay, yeah. Okay, the new, yeah. Anything else?
Stuff.
Donald, where's your trousers?
Oh, it's trousers, I think you'll find. He was obviously supporting Scotland.
Scottish now.
So, do you know the Belarusian National Lottery computer? Is this right?
Last week's Belarus lottery numbers.
Oh, yeah,
give us
numbers.
Give
from
us
last
the lottery
week.
numbers, yeah.
1, and the bonus ball 1.
Oh, right. Okay.
That's a bit strange, isn't it?
It's an odd lottery in Belarus.
It's an odd lottery in Belarus.
I remember the old song, It's an Odd Lottery in Belarus.
So
used to sing that.
Yeah. We're going to be doing England versus Serbia versus England.
Oh, yeah.
We'll do a bit of Wales, Canada in our predictions.
Yep.
And France, Iceland. How do you feel about France, Iceland before we get into it, chat?
I love Iceland, lads.
Oh, yeah.
I like the chicken tikka lasagna.
Oh, the chicken tikka lasagna. Oh, that's nice,
yeah. Anything else you like there?
6 eclairs for £1.
6 eclairs for £1. Yeah, that's not bad. It's not bad, is it? Terrific. Okay. Well, should we crack on then?
Yeah, let's go.
Let's look at these standings. Charlie Baker last week got a direct hit on a Vertu trophy match.
Vertu, mate.
Featuring the cab driver's favourite competition, featuring Adrian Dunham's very own Posh, who I think got beat again, didn't they?
3-1 to Leighton Orient.
They're in the mud at the moment, Posh. Poor old Aid. Poor old Aid.
So I'm top of the league, Paul, on 6 points. I won last month as well.
Yeah.
Paul, you got 4 points last week.
Chat is bottom of the table.
Chat is bottom of the league on 2 points, so you need to find something from somewhere.
Something constantly learning is not doing particularly well at the moment. So let's start off in Belgrade for Serbia versus England. Charlie, you lead us off. What's going to happen tonight?
Okay, Serbia, England tonight. Part of me wants this terrible rain to be over and for us to lose.
In about 5 minutes.
I know, but I can't stand it.
Okay.
It's a dreadful choice.
Okay.
But I think we'll win 2-0.
Okay, you're going to go 2-0. I was very, very tempted on 1-1, and I still maintain that a draw.
I think that's on the cards.
Is not the most. It's not the worst result.
Sure.
But I actually think the more the day has gone on, I think we're going to nick it. I think it might be a bit of a morale boost in 2-1. Then we'll come through a tough game, and maybe H. Kane will come through and get the winner.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm going to go 2-1. You've gone 2-0. What about you, Chat?
I predict a 2-1 win for England.
Okay.
Oh, is that
it?
That's it,
is
well,
it?
He normally gives us a little bit of reason.
Something else, some reasons.
Okay,
but
I suppose he's kind of said enough, really, with
exactly, yeah. Do you like Thomas Tuchel, Chat?
Thomas Tuchel is a dud.
He's a dud.
Tuchel out.
Tuchel out.
Okay, well, there we go.
Okay, well.
And is back, Paul.
Yeah, I know he is. I saw that, yeah.
You sacked a winner, Paul.
Yeah, well, we sacked a winner.
I love the tricky trees.
Oh, yeah,
It's who we are made.
It's who we are, mate, of course. Yeah.
It's who we are made.
It's who we are made. Wouldn't it be great if Ange said it like that? It's who we are made.
It's who we are made.
TalkSPORT listeners home in the car.
It's who we are made.
Get the idea of that. It's who we are, mate. Wales versus Canada tonight. Swansea.
Wales v Canada.
Canada.
I've got to be honest. I think I love this Wales team.
Yeah.
Under Robbie Savage. I think they're great.
Under Robbie Savage? Under Craig Bellamy.
Under Craig Bellamy, not under Robbie Savage. Forest Green Rovers. Under Craig Bellamy. I don't know how Canada are getting on.
They're a good side.
They're a good side, aren't they? Yeah.
They're doing all right.
It's a friendly, this, isn't it?
Yeah.
But as it's a friendly, I'm going to say 1-1.
Do you know what? I was going to go for the same score line because Canada are a decent side. But at home, I don't know. Maybe they can nick it. I'm going to go. I would have gone 1-1, but just for a point of difference, I think they're higher in their world rankings currently than Wales. But I'm going to go 2-1 Wales on the night. Okay. Chat, what say you?
Wales are known for being tough to beat. I think they will win 2-0.
2-0.
Okay, 2-0. There's no they've got players out. They've got some big players out, haven't they? Canada. So Alfonso.
Ben, the Forest fan's been in touch. Chat. Yeah. Thank you for cheering up a wound-up Forest fan, me.
Yeah, me.
So there we are. So that's
okay. Yeah, he always sounds sarcastic. He doesn't mean to. France, Iceland, 6 eclairs for £1. What do you reckon?
All your jeans, all your jackets.
What do you reckon?
France, Iceland. I think this will be a 3-1 to France.
3-1.
Actually, 3-0.
Oh, 3-0. Okay,
3-0.
That's interesting because I was actually going to go. I mean, Iceland aren't that bad, and France are a very strong side. I think it could be a bit of a shoo-in to that. It might turn it on.
Okay.
I'm going to go 4-1 to France.
This is a qualifier, is it? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
4-1. Yeah.
Yep. Okay. So, what do you think, chat?
I think France will pull off a 3-1 win.
Okay, it's a good job I went for the other one. Okay, well, there we are.
Good.
talkSPORT listeners home in the car. You want to add anything, chat?
Anything to tell us, chat?
It's who we are made.
It's who we are, mate. Okay, I think that's fine. Well, thank you very much. We'll catch up with you next week. That's H&B versus Chat GPT. And still to come this afternoon, we're going to talk Carlos Alcaraz.
Oh,
Bit of a gear shift.
Good.
Another US Open victory for him the other day.
Yeah, brilliant.
Actually, the only game he's lost recently was with Emma Raducanu. Read into that what you will. Mark Hodgkinson is a tennis journalist and author. He's written Being Carlos Alcaraz. We'll look at the state of the game at the moment, where we're at, just how dominant he and Sinner can be over the next few years. What sets him apart? What makes him tick? That's all coming up. We're here with Tool Station. Next stop, Tool Station.
It's who we are made.
Listener Steve Pye's been in touch.
Yeah.
He said, didn't Czech go for England to beat Andorra 2-0? I'm wondering how they're still on 2 points after last week. I'm starting to take this a bit too seriously. No, Steve, you're right to question it.
Thank you, Steve.
We've put it back to the team, and there was an error in the scoring this week.
They've not updated.
The error being they didn't do it.
Yeah, they're doing it now.
We're working on it now, and we will bring you updated scoring.
Steve from Salford says Chat GPT sounds hungover today.
Well, he was in Belarus last night watching the game. Yeah.
And Tom asks, does Chat still love the Beavers? I don't know. Are you still there, Chat?
I love the Beavers.
He still loves the Beavers, which is the nickname of
Hampton and Richmond.
Hampton and Richmond, that's right, yeah.
So he still loves the Beavers.
So thank you very much.
We'll get the scores for Steve Pye only. We'll get the scores.
Sorry, Steve, you're the only one who really cares about the scores, but we will. We've got to get these things right. I mean, we will do that.
Otherwise, what's the point, Paul?
Shortly. Just a reminder, 7:45 tonight, we bring you Serbia versus England, all the build-up from 7 straight after Drive with Andy Goldstein and Darren Bent. We'll have all the team news for you, of course. So stick around for that. I mean, it's going to be interesting if he goes with Elliot Anderson again. Any tweaks he might put in.
No reason to drop him. He played ever so well the other day.
Yeah,
he perhaps should have scored his goal.
He did play well. He wasn't up against a great deal, but he showed some good touches, didn't he? So we'll see if he gets another start tonight. And we'll talk England before the end of the show. While we await our guest to talk about Carlos Alcaraz, your new sporting hero. Yeah. Anything else you want to share with
some more Ange discourse. This is from Les, the Spurs fan. I don't think it's Les Ferdinand. I don't know. It might be. He might be texting into the show.
That's a bit of a stretch, isn't it?
I don't know. I'm just saying. Hi,
Other
guys.
people called Les are available.
Hi, guys. What a cracking season we're all in for.
Yeah.
I'm feeling that managers are slotting in nicely at teams where they just seem fit perfectly. Forest is perfect for Ange, I think. Wow. David Moyes is just back where he's supposed to be. Thomas Frank just suits Tottenham to a T, and I can just see Nuno at Brentford. I'm sure Keith Andrews thrilled.
He's only been there for 5
minutes. In 3 games. One. Potter just needs to find his place now. Amorim will be breathing a sigh of relief now that Ange is back for the media to get their teeth back into. Yeah. And they can share that load now instead of him getting it all next season. Hope you like my synopsis. We do, Les. I thought it was very, very good.
I was hoping you'd cover all 20 teams.
Send in the rest. Tell us what you think.
We never got a chance to, really.
Very nice.
Anything else, Charlie?
Yeah, the Miracle in Bilbao book. Jason has been in touch. He's a gooner. He says I'll give it a miss. He's not going to buy the Spurs book, Paul.
Oh, right.
Jason the gooner. He's not going to buy it. But he's looking forward to Ange at the Emirates.
He's okay. Nice. He's not going to buy it. Well, I mean, plenty of people will.
Yeah, they will. Still will.
So,
an Eccles cake has extremely buttery pastry, while a Chorley cake, the pastry is quite dry.
Yes.
Both delicious with a cup of tea. There we are.
This is because Sam Avery, the comedian Evertonian, was telling us last time we played Chorley, they marched on the theatre with lit.
He said they're more or less the same.
He said it's very similar to an Eccles cake, but they
were bringing him down.
I think there's a difference in the sweetness from what
I think so.
The other chat, the proper Chat GPT.
Have you ever had a Staffordshire oat cake, Paul?
I think I probably have over the years.
That is the nicest thing.
Yeah.
The nicest thing with cheese.
The Bakewell pudding from Bakewell.
Bakewell pudding, completely different thing, isn't it?
It is.
Paul?
Yeah,
it's a different thing altogether. I had a friend in Bakewell.
You go to Bakewell and then
there's no icing on it, Paul.
Exactly.
It's not iced. Don't expect like a cherry Bakewell, like a Mr. Kipling.
It's not been Mr. Kipling.
You like Kipling, Paul? Have you ever kippled?
I haven't, no. I tried Kipling once, but I swore I'd never do it again.
My son came home the other night. It was about 11:30. He'd been to the pub.
Yeah.
Said, Mum and mate didn't want to stop at McDonald's. He came in with the 2 boxes of French fancies. He said, "This is my dinner."
No, lovely.
10 French fancies. What have you had for dinner? 8, 10, 89. 10 French fancies.
A lovely balanced diet.
Yeah. Well, some of them are yellow, some of them are pink, some of them are brown, aren't they?
Yeah.
So
well, we're struggling to get through to our Carlos.
Right. Oh, really? You surprised me as I'm talking about French fancies for dinner.
Yes, just
anyone would think I'm feeling full.
What's your favourite cake? No, I'm not interested. Life before Tottenham for Ange, of course, was Celtic, where he did fantastically well.
Yes.
So let's dip into the experience of a Celtic fan. Richie has joined us on this day that Ange gets another job in the Premier League with Forest. Hi, Richie.
Hello, Richie.
Hiya, how you doing, lads? You okay?
Yeah, good, thank you.
I know there's a lot. There's old mate Chaz Newkey-Burden, who's a Celtic fan, was wishing Ange all the best. There's a lot of love for Ange at Celtic. Susie McCabe was the same. Very sad that they'd lost him. I mean,
some people were hoping he'd go back.
Yeah, well, I mean, how are you feeling about this appointment at Forest? What sort of job are you expecting him to do?
I think Ange will do a good job, to be honest. Everywhere he's went, he's proven that he's won a trophy, and I know that that's a bit cynical with the league position last year. And when he came into Spurs, lost arguably, in the top 5 anyway, Premier League's greatest ever goal scorers.
Mm-hmm.
Was taken from him. He wasn't able to replace him, and he spent a third, at the most, of the money that Manchester United spent, finished one place below them, and won a European trophy. I don't know what Nottingham Forest really want or who they want, but I would like to know if they would rather Ruben Amorim or Ange Postecoglou. The one that lost his job arguably done better.
Are you surprised at the way it all unfolded for Ange? Having watched what he did at Celtic, were you expecting it to go better? I mean, look, I know he ultimately won a European trophy, but they did finish 17th in the league, and it was sort of carnage that second season. I mean, were you surprised that he found it such hard going?
Not surprised, because the Spurs model, and obviously it will change now with Levy having left the role, but under Levy, no manager has been able to spend money. Ange got a tune out of some players that weren't performing before. Yes, there was disappointments. The league was not good enough, and I would think, and I'm not a Spurs fan by any manner of means, but I would think that Spurs having, who was the last Spurs manager before Ange that lifted a trophy? Because it wasn't Jose, wasn't Harry Redknapp, wasn't Pochettino, wasn't any of these guys.
It was one day Ramos, if you, a long, that's right.
So Spurs don't have the players, they've got the infrastructure now, and possibly they'll now have the money to do it that Levy's away, that the purse strings will be slightly loosened. But I think Ange at Nottingham Forest is a great fit. He's strong-minded, strong-willed. He certainly proved that at Celtic with the shambles of a board that we have at Celtic. And he left in a better manner than Brendan Rodgers did. And we'll always wish him all the best, because if Ange is given the tools, he gets the job done, and he's proven it at clubs such as, and I'll include Celtic in this, he's been hampered by a board or by purse strings and still delivers trophies and still delivers league titles at Celtic. He's proven at club level, every single club he's went to, he's won a trophy.
Yeah.
And he's proven internationally as well. I don't really know what Nottingham Forest fans, given that it's 2025 and not 1978, what they actually want.
Well, we'll see if that's
Find
Boyden.
out, yeah.
Good man, Richie. Thanks very much.
Thanks, Richie.
Thank you. Take care, guys.
Richie, the Celtic fan, they're giving us his take on the fit that Ange Postecoglou will be.
I mean, that is happening, Paul, but the most texts we've had all day are about French fancies.
This is the trouble. You just bring the average down, Charlie, don't you? You just lower it. You lower the tone.
Does anybody
Charlie Baker lowering the tone?
Lowering the tone
for 5 years.
What a nice podcast. Does anybody like the brown French fancy? Andy, the Chelsea fan. I don't like the brown one. Do you like the brown one? Someone's said that I've said the order of the colours. I said I can't read that out on air.
No.
Unfortunately.
See what I mean? Charlie Baker lowers the tone.
Someone sent a Mr. Kipling joke that I can't read out on.
No, okay. Most of the stuff we get, we can't read on air, which makes you wonder why bother sending it in. Just for us. But thank you for it.
And anyway, on the subject of what do you have for your tea, I
didn't ask.
I texted my missus last night. Was his Maskell at Fresh Kicks HQ in Boston.
Oh, yeah.
Hello, Fresh Kicks. I texted my missus last night, wondering what we were having for tea.
Yeah.
She told me to sort myself out because she was having 2 tubes of Pringles. What a lovely dinner.
Yeah. I have to lay on a picnic between your Stan and these misses.
Yeah, very nice.
2 chews of Pringle and 12 French fancies. Maybe 6 eclairs for £1. Anyway, it's Paul Hawksbee and Charlie Baker here on Talks. You may have gathered we had a few issues getting through to the Carlos Alcaraz author.
Yeah.
We'll try again later. If not, we'll catch up with him tomorrow.
Day, yeah.
Carlos Alcaraz will still be playing tennis tomorrow, won't he?
I think so.
The book will still be out there. Time waits for no man. Before that, though, we want to talk a bit more Forest. Max Scott has been biting his lip.
Yes.
Wants to come off his long run. He's been sitting there reading his bulletin, desperate to editorialise, not being able to. We give him the opportunity in a few moments' time. And we'll continue talking England before Andy Goldstein and Darren Bent take over with Drive at 4.
And Postecoglou's been papped at the Nottingham Forest training ground. We understand he will sign a 2-year contract. Our chief football correspondent, Alex Crook, has told us there have been problems behind the scenes at Forest since July.
Ever since Edu came in as the sort of overlord of all the clubs that Evangelos Marinakis owns, I think Nuno wanted a greater say in terms of recruitment. He wasn't happy with the signing of Douglas Luiz in particular.
Postecoglou was first approached by Marinakis early in August. Nuno was given time, though, to adapt to a new sporting structure, but was sacked overnight. But Forest legend Stuart Pearce is concerned the team's not set up to play Postecoglou's front foot style.
Very much a counter-attack style of play, defending deep, which suits Milenkovic and one or two others. I think we saw against West Ham when they had to come out and chase the game, they become a little bit open and vulnerable. Ange plays a style of play that is more expansive, more open, so the style of play's got to change.
And Miles Lewis-Skelly's been dropped for England's trip to Serbia. It leaves Dan Burn, Tino Livramento and Jed Spence as options on that side of the back four. The game is live on talkSPORT from 7 p.m.
Paddy's Pick on talkSPORT with Paddy Power. Can you guess who's made the headlines this week? 18 plus, be gamble aware, don't all.
Just before we talk Forest with a seasoned Forest fan and a bit more England, it's time for Paddy's Pick in association with our official betting partner, Paddy Power.
Oh, yeah.
In Paddy's Pick, I'm asking Charlie to identify a mystery sports personality who has made news headlines in the recent past and he's Paddy's Pick of the week. Charlie, you're going to get 5 clues as always to work out who it is. Okay. We'll start with £50 in the pot. Every clue we use up without a correct answer, we take £10 away. Paddy's Pick for a great cause. All the funds raised go to the Roadcroft Hospice, South Devon charity, delivering end-of-life care and support to over 2,000 patients and their loved ones each year. So Are you ready, Charlie?
Yes, please, Paul.
Let me turn the page and see who it is. Oh, yeah, I think you've got a fighting chance.
Oh, OK.
This week's pick is a star in his sport who has just called time after a career spanning 3 decades.
Oh,
who called time on an amazing career at the weekend?
Oh, no.
Got his little lad in on the...
Mark Cavendish. No.
No.
Oh, no. Am I in the right...
You're in the
right
wheelhouse. He won 3 world championships in his sport and was Olympic gold medalist twice, 2008, 2012, isn't it?
Oh. What a nightmare. It's,
you can see his face, can't you?
I can see him riding up the hill, pushing his son up the hill on his little bike.
Sitting on the handle, he's sitting on the handlebars.
Maybe I've watched a different...
Yeah, this was different.
I've watched a different thing. I'm thinking of a different person.
Okay.
Okay.
Clearly, you know.
Definitely not Mark Cavendish.
No, well, I can't.
Is it Eddie Merckx, Paul?
No, it's not Eddie Merckx. OK, he's one of the few riders in the modern... This is not going to help you.
No.
Words, I could say.
Words.
He's one of the few riders in the modern era to achieve significant elite success as a track and road rider, with notable victories in the velodrome, one-day racing, and in stage racing. He's Welsh. I don't know if that does him famous.
No. Oh.
I mean,
I'm still thinking it's Mark Cavendish, but it's not. I know it's not Mark Cavendish.
Both first name and surname, very Welsh.
Is it Max Boyce, Paul?
Wow, you really are struggling. You're not going to get.
Can't think who it is.
Okay,
slipped my mind completely.
If I gave you his initials, would
give me that. Yeah,
because I want some money to go to Rowcroft.
Someone will text in there.
GT.
It's Geraint Thomas.
That's it. Well done, Charlie.
No one texted in.
What's Welsh for blood out of a stone?
Head.
He won the 2018 Tour de France, becoming the first Welshman and the third British rider to win it. He signed off on a glittering career last weekend on the Tour of Britain, as it ended in Cardiff.
I thought it was
little lad.
I thought it was going to be Rory McIlroy winning the Irish Open, which if you've not seen...
Well, it wasn't.
If you've not seen, do find him playing the last 3 holes and need an eagle to force a playoff.
Yeah. I think they call this deflection.
The eruption from the crowd was like he just scored the winner in the FA
one of the
Cup final.
people.
It was amazing.
Just one of the people that wasn't Paddy's pick. So there we are, Paddy's pick. You got 20 quid for Rowcroft.
That's all right.
For being so successful across multi-disciplines. An amazing sports person. He's going to be popping up on breakfast next month for a chat. So 20 quid for Rowcroft. Thanks to our friends at Paddy Power, official H&J betting partner, 18 plus only, begambleaware.org.
Paddy's pick on talkSPORT with Paddy Power. Can you guess who's made the headlines this week? 18 plus, begambleaware.org.
Stuart Pearce is out in Belgrade for talkSPORT. You'll hear him tonight. He joined Jim and Simon a little bit earlier on to give his reaction to Ange Postecoglou agreeing to replace Nuno Espirito Santo. This is what he had to say.
The only thing that worries me, Simon, is the style of play. I think there's a group of players here that have got into a groove, and the style of play has brought them success. That counter-attack, I think certainly the 2 centre-halves enjoy having people around them to cover them up a little bit and gets the best out of them. If you're going to play expansive and open, does that suit Forest with their counter-attack method of play? That's my question mark with Ange.
Stuart Pearce, a Forest great. Let's hear from a Forest fan who's had to bite his tongue, really, since the news broke last night. I think he popped up on the Sports Bar when Nuno's departure was announced, but he's not had a chance, really, to talk about Ange coming in. It is our very own Max Scott who's been bringing us the sport. Big Forest fan. Hi again, Max.
How are you, fellas?
Yeah, good, thank you.
Yeah, it's what a mad sort of 14, 15 hours in the history of your club. I mean, after a great season last season, everything's sort of heading in the right direction. The added bonus of getting Europa League football, which is better than you even imagined because of what happened with Palace, you find yourself everything up in the air again.
Yeah, nobody does sporting drama like Nottingham Forest these days, isn't it? I mean, look... Ange Postecoglou, Crookie brought us that news that fateful Friday before of Nuno's comments just before that Palace game, where really the writing was probably on the wall, and Crookie was saying from that day that Ange Postecoglou's been lined up, conversations had taken place, and here we are a couple of weeks later, that's come true. The thing that shocks me is that we're talking about a manager with a tactical approach to football, diametrically opposed to Nuno Espirito Santo's much more defensive approach, which of course reaped the rewards of European football for the first time at the club since the 90s. And so for me, this only really works if in this incredibly short space of time from when Ange was at Spurs or was relieved of his duties at Spurs, that there has been some sort of reflection, that there's been some sort of professional development on his part where he understands that his insistence on a kamikaze approach to football isn't necessarily going to benefit Nottingham Forest, because you'd like to think that this isn't going to be a revolution. I know it's horrible football cliche, but it's going to be an evolution that we will hopefully, for want of a better phrase, stand on the shoulders of what Nuno's built at the club, because what he's done is no mean feat, and I don't think many people probably would have achieved that. So I think that this can work, and there is a real, I think, sense from Forest fans of trusting Marinakis. I know that he's vilified by many people, in the Premier League, but within Nottingham, he's been the person that's been pulling the strings and the purse strings to get Forest to where they are.
Yeah.
So there is an element of trust that he knows what he's doing, but crikey, it is a bit of a shock to the system that Postecoglou's here now.
It seems Edu's involvement has upset because Nuno obviously felt everything was going in the right direction. He was very happy with the recruitment team. He had a good relationship. Suddenly Edu comes in as the kind of group director, and that's caused all of the friction. I'm sure Ange will find a way to sort of get on with him, and but Nuno probably couldn't deal with the fact that he had done such a good job and the recruitment team had done such a good job, and then somebody was brought in over them.
Yeah, that's clear and manifested itself in what I think were incredibly irresponsible comments from Nuno.
Yeah.
They're perfectly valid concerns, but to play those out in the sort of court of public opinion, I think has been his downfall.
I wonder if he just played it. I mean, he probably felt that his hand was so strong in light of what happened last year that he could say something like that, but maybe he didn't. He didn't realise. You must know what Marinakis is like, and that wouldn't have gone down well.
Exactly, and so there is a feeling in which there's maybe a less sympathy than there normally would be, because it feels like he's made his bed and he's lying in it now.
Yeah.
And the writing was on the wall when those comments came out. So look, one thing I would say to try to make this more positive is not only do I think that there is a lot of trust or money in the bank from Marinakis with Forest fans, literally and figuratively. I mean, he's invested a lot. You look at this Forest squad now. I'm led to believe that Nuno asked for 2 starting 11s at the end of last season. Well, he's gone and got it. And now Ange Postecoglou, I think, inherits a squad far better than what he had at Spurs last season. And that might sound outrageous because Spurs are European champions and they did incredibly well, but they lost 22 of their 38 games.
Yeah.
This is what makes it so worrying. But he is coming into a squad that is, I think, full of rip-roaring talent there.
Yeah.
So there is reason to be excited. Hopefully he can take Forest to the next level in an attacking way. I just hope that it doesn't detract from the incredible defence which got us to this position in the first place. I hope it's not one or the other.
He's also got a point to prove, Max. That's one thing, because there'll be plenty of people out saying, he reached his ceiling. He got in the Premier League and his methods reached their ceiling. And that was a narrative, and that will annoy him.
It will annoy him. And
so I think he'll feel he'll want to feed off it.
And that narrative, I think, chimes and fits well with Nottingham Forest, who are always a club that are trying to prove themselves. Even back in the glory days, we had Tony Woodcock on earlier talking about the Miracle Men. They were proving a point that this small provincial team that nobody had ever heard of could go and conquer Europe. And funnily enough, we're back in that situation where we want to conquer Europe. Yes, it's a different context. Yes, it's a different time. But to have a manager coming in that wants to prove himself at a club that is hell-bent on proving itself and smashing that so-called top 6 glass ceiling, it could work out. It could be, the risk of the footballing decade. Maybe that's a bit of a stretch, but it could be that this is absolute genius from Marinakis, and everybody's hoping that he will. Ange Postecoglou will be given support from the fans.
Yeah.
But I'd be lying if I told you that I wasn't shocked and slightly concerned at the profile of the manager coming in contrast to Nuno.
Sure, absolutely.
Other than getting 3 points on Saturday, what are you doing if you're Postecoglou to get the fans on side straight away?
I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel. I'm being a lot more conservative than what he has been. I'm keeping the same setup, similar starting 11. I'm making sure that the leaders in the dressing room, like Gibbs White and Ryan Yates, are still an integral part. And you want to see that sort of vibe, those relationships that we've seen. You want to see that continue, because Nuno did create that. He did foster that togetherness. We don't want to lose that.
I don't know how many of the coaching staff have stayed, Max. Maybe you can tell us, because Ange tends to work with who's already there. He doesn't bring in a whole team of coaching staff. So I don't know if it's just Nuno's gone or whether he's still got the coaches there.
I'm not sure at this point either. Time will tell.
But that will help in the transition, because they're all on international duty. He's going to have no time. So he's basically going to get most of these players back Thursday or Friday and have to go out Saturday lunchtime away at Arsenal. So it's not going to be an easy start. But if the coaching, he'll lean very heavily, I think, on the existing coaching staff. That's if they've not left with Nuno. Yeah. But it's going to be fascinating. It's an intriiguing game for us to have on Saturday as well.
Yeah, live on talkSPORT. It's going to be an absolute belter.
Yeah. Thank you, Max. Thanks very much. Max Scott there. He'll be back at 2 to bring us the sport, but I think it was only right he got a chance to vent about his beloved Forest. I'm sure there'll be a lot more people phoning in at 4. You'll get the thoughts of Andy Goldstein and Darren Bent as well. We're going to return to England live tonight on talkSPORT in Belgrade. And Danny Mills, former England defender, is going to join us for a chat. Give us his take on how England have been playing so far and what he wants to see this evening from Thomas Tuchel's team. We're here with our good friends at Tool Station. Stay one step ahead, whatever the job. Next stop, Tool Station. Apparently the scoring was wrong in Chat GPT.
Oh, was it?
It was only listener Steve Pye that noticed, who's taken it far too seriously. Charlie is still top on 11.
Oh, that's good.
Chat second on 9. Yep. I'm third on 7.
Oh, yeah,
so
third.
For the completists out there, don't at us. They're the scores. Apologies for the mistake. Thank you,
Update your
Steve.
logbook.
Let's hear from Harry Kane, chatting to talkSPORT ahead of the game against Serbia tonight, which will bring you live, all the build-up from 7. He said there's been a lot of change for the team since Thomas Tuchel took over.
The squad and the team has changed quite a lot in the last year. also players who have been injured for a couple of the camps, like this camp with Jude and Bukayo not here, and Stonesy come and left again. So players who have had that experience not being here gives opportunity to others, but also leaves us a little bit light in that kind of experience department. But like I said, nights like tomorrow night can be really important for that. I felt even this week in general, it's probably been the best squad we've had under the new manager. Just the feeling, the energy, the standard in training. So yeah, look, part of being an England player is dealing with the outside noise, especially when you're leading up to a major tournament. There's always going to be opinions on who should play, what formation, and that's just something you're never going to get away from. But what's important is what we're doing, what we're focused on. We know there's still stuff to improve on for sure, but I think tomorrow will be the first big test under the new manager, and we're excited to see where we're at.
Yep, it certainly is a big test, and it was going to be the toughest game on paper, but how do they stand up to it? Let's have a chat now with Danny Mills, former England defender. Hi, Danny.
Good afternoon, gents.
What school are you in? Are you in just get the results, it doesn't matter how you play, or do you want to see England play a more entertaining brand of football, or is it at this stage all about the points?
Well, normally I would be. When you look at sort of, what is it about? It's about qualification. It's about getting to World Cup finals, about getting through the group. But when Thomas Tuchel came in, he was very explicit in saying he wanted to play entertaining football. The previous regime he thought was not quite good enough, didn't entertain, wasn't on the front foot. He wants to play a totally different brand of football. We haven't seen that in any way, shape or form. Now, if he'd have come in with a Mourinho sort of style and said, look, don't care how we play, I just want to win. And I want to win the World Cup. It's irrelevant, what the performances look like as long as we win, then you could almost forgive him. But at the moment, you're looking at the games and you're thinking, well, is this squad strong enough to win the World Cup? Are his tactics right? We all keep going on about we've got one of the strongest squads around, all these great young players coming through, but we're not seeing it. Is it any better than what we saw under Gareth? He's now talking about going back to long throws and corner kicks and utilising them, which Gareth was much maligned for using set pieces, as a weapon. Maybe Thomas Tuchel's finding this job a little bit harder than he thought it was going to be.
What's he getting wrong, Danny, in your eyes, from what you've seen so far?
I think we have seen that little bit of pressure coming back into it. I think, Gareth managed to dispel all that, especially in the early sort of stages of his tenure, and managed to allow the players a togetherness, a freedom to go and express themselves, and go and enjoy their football. I think now there is this huge pressure, and I think that's partly down to the FA. Bringing Thomas Tuchel in on an 18-month contract, which basically says, win the World Cup or you failed. If you don't win the World Cup, you failed massively and you're out of a job. That's what we're all expecting. No one has told us any different to that. So suddenly now the pressure is on the players. We have to win this, or not only has the manager failed, but we have failed. And I think, that starts to, it does add pressure, and it does make it difficult. And you look at, these young players coming through. Yes, there's so much potential within that side. These players have won age group championships at under 19, 20, 21s. But have they cracked on from there? Not particularly. Are they all regulars in the starting lineup? No, they're not. Whereas you look at Spain, Portugal, Germany, their players, they win an under-20 tournament and then they go and play 100 first-team games, 30 Champions League games, and are vastly more experienced, at that level. Our young England players are some of the best at age groups, but for whatever reason, the pathway isn't there for them to kick on in the Premier League.
If it ends up just being another scrappy 1-0, what do you think the fallout's likely to be tomorrow? I mean, look, they get over the line, but it's not particularly attractive, but they get the result. What are you expecting to hear from people tomorrow?
I think he's going to get criticised, for that. We keep hearing about, we just heard Harry Kane saying they want to be on the front foot, they want to press. Well, go and do it. It's not that difficult. With all due respect, you're playing against Serbia. Yes, there's some very good players in there, but player for player, England are better than them. So go and press them, put some pressure on, go and try and win the game 2-3, 4-0. If you get 1-0 up, don't just allow that to be okay. Keep going for it. Go and score more goals. Go and enjoy yourselves. Go and do what you can. Ultimately, we know it's about qualification and it's about getting to the tournament, which we know is going to be very, very difficult. But I just think, I think Thomas Tuchel's made the rod for his own back. Saying he wants to play in a certain way, saying he wants to play entertaining football. No one cares if it's entertaining football. If we come back with a trophy in a World Cup, no one's bothered if it's 1-0 every single game. No one's bothered if we win all the knockout phases on penalty shootout. It really would not matter. Yeah. So I think he's made it harder for himself than it needed to be.
Enjoy the game, Danny. Appreciate your time. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Take care. It's been difficult to enjoy the games. He's got a point. Let's hope we do tonight. It's all going to unfold on talkSPORT from 7. All the fallout, of course, from Belgrade with our team out there, and the sports part, have your say at 10, and to build up to it now, and chat about the big Premier League story of the day, which is Nuno out, Ange in. It's Andy Goldstein and Darren Bentwood Drive coming up next. We'll see you tomorrow. Among our guests, Rick Astley.
Oh, fantastic.
Have a good evening.